A very warm welcome back to our coverage of eRacing Grand Prix Global Edition. Earlier on this afternoon we had the amateur lads very much involved, and a double win there for Gilbert Ang on his first attempts around the Dubai Autodrome circuit that we're using for today. Now we move on to the GT4 racers, who are the professional racers and the good, very good sim drivers. Alex Young is the architect behind this whole series. Alex, talk us through your expectations ahead of this afternoon's, well, 5 races in all. We've got 2 groups of 20 with 2 races, followed by a final.
Yeah, so I mean, just quick corrections, GT3 drivers.
GT3.
Our pro drivers right now, these are the pro sim guys who are just on the sims every day, 3-4 hours, whereas the amateur class are for guys who have day jobs. They're not on the sim quite as much as these guys. So we have the best sim drivers from around the region, a lot of Australians, Kiwis, all over the region, India. I think something like 18 countries have taken part over the 2 competitions, so that's pretty cool. We're also up against real life drivers. We've had Eduardo Martero drive, Jan Erlische, WTCR winner. So, you know, World Championships, FIA race winners, ex-CDM champions. Richard Lyons is joining us this weekend, who's a former Nippon and Super GT champion before. So it's great to have, you know, real life, really top world-class real-life drivers up against the best sim drivers from the region.
Okay, at the moment it's just you and me talking. What we really ought to do is just show those at home, either the racers or those who are just dropping into either the Facebook feed or the TV feed for the very first time, exactly what we mean by eRacing Grand Prix. What we've done is we put together the final from last week's race, which took place at the Motegi circuit. Just have a look at some of the action that we've got for you. Very warm welcome back to our coverage of eRacing Grand Prix. It's the Global Edition Round 2. We have chosen the Motegi circuit for today's action, and we're coming to the final. Nakib on pole. eRacing Global Edition is underway. Nakib cuts into the space alongside of Andika. Terrific start from Fadli Rakhmat. Andika's got in there as well. Andika Rama is in first place. Nakib has just been edged out wide. Fadli Rakhmat tries to come through on the inside as well. So Mohammed and Nakib dropped from P1 to P4. Josh Perwin has a look through on the outside as well. So comparatively a disastrous start from Mohammed Nakib. They come up over the brow of the hill for the very first time. It is indeed green, the flag's blue. As they come down, Tadashi has a look. There's the first of the Audis, the only Audi of Arif Roslan, who was fairly quick. Brady is blocked up by Tadashi. Tadashi in the Hello Kitty pink gets inside Brady. Brady in the Porsche tries to come back. Here he is in currently P3. Andika Rama still leading the way. Andika Rama Malana leads from Fadli Rakhmat. Indonesia 1-2. BMW 1 through 6. The best of the... Oh, there's a problem for Andika.
Oh,
and Josh Perwin through into second place.
Oh my gosh, you won't believe that, because Alif had gone from 12th to 6th and he's just collected Andika. Wow, how unfortunate for him. It's a very tactical part of the race. At the moment, all 3 of them look very super clean. Although, I have to say, Nakib looks like he's got a bit of time in his back pocket still.
We are beyond the 10-minute mark. It's a 25-minute race. Both go into the pits at the same time. Josh Perwin and Nakib, same idea. Right, Nakib really pressing Josh Perwin. They are side by side in the pit lane. It's not exactly racing in the pit lane, but it just shows you the energy that Nakib is wanting to put out there.
He's leading right now. So the 2 cars behind him are on fresher tires, so they should be able to undercut Fadli as Fadli pits now. But you know, let's see.
But Nakib, he did superbly in the pit lane, didn't make the mistake, and has got himself a healthy lead ahead of Josh Perwin.
And it's a perfect position for Nakib. I think once the pit stops the cycle through, he will be in the lead. Depends. Rashmat's on the way now out of the pit lane. Yes, he loses the lead. The orange car there falls back to second position. Will Perwin get him before turn 1? Let's watch them. Perwin's all over the back of him. This is a fight for second position.
Josh Perwin has a look on the inside. Aggressive move from the Aussie, and Perwin can't get round Fadli Rakhmat, or can he? tries to go around the outside. Purwin purrs through. This is the race leader into the 90-degree corner, takes it stylishly. Behind them, Rakhmat has just this opportunity to try to make a move. Is he happy with third place? Probably is. Nakib is the race winner. What a weekend it is for Mohammed Nakib. He takes the 25 points to win the final series. Second is Josh Purwin from Australia. Fadli Rakhmat in third.
Yeah, absolutely. In this tight field, that's a big gap. Further back, Kalen Chin, fastest lap of the race. Well done, young man, the 13-year-old from Australia. Well done.
And points picked up by Amir Hazik, Brody Steen, Darryl Brady, Nassi, who was the championship leader and won the last race, and Harry Froslander. I think what we're showing here, Alex, is that we've put together a very, very, very competitive series. So a brilliant weekend of racing for Mohammed Nakib. That win was enough to put him to the very top of the championship standings. He'll be in the second of the groups of races that we've got for you today. 2 groups of 20, of whom the best 10 in each make it through to the final. Alex, let's have a look at Group A, or the championship points that we've got. Mohammed Nakib, 110 points ahead of Josh Purwin, the Australian. Singapore's Alif Hamilton now in a 6-round series. That looks to be a very, very healthy lead, but you've got to take away your worst set of results. So this is by no means done and dusted for Mohammed Nakib.
No, absolutely not. I think anyone, Miko Nasi's up there. Andika Rama, we know, is capable of winning the races as well. Arjun Maini as well, the Formula 2 driver. He's been very quick, but he's not had the luck to finish on the podium yet. Rachmat in 9th position. He missed the first round, so when you consider drop points, he'll move up as well. So, anyway, back into the practice now. You can see the drivers. They have their 5 minutes more practice. They've been practicing for half an hour, and they are getting ready now for qualifying. There's only 6 minutes left, and we'll see some of the drivers going around.
Yeah, we've got practice for all the guys. The server has been open for the last half hour or so, so they've been having an opportunity to get around the Dubai Autodrome, which is the chosen track that we've got for them today. As we say, 2 groups, each has 2 races. There's qualification, 4 minutes for qualification, and then a reverse grid race, which means that if you do badly in race number 1, you've got an opportunity to make amends in a really, really congested race number 2. The best 10-point scorers from each of the groups make it into the finals. We're on board here with Jaka Siswoyo, who made his debut last week at the Motegi circuit. He's one of a raft of Indonesian drivers, Alex Young, who really has got an opportunity to making a mark. Okay, they missed round 1, but you are allowed to offload one set of bad results. So if he's consistent, he could become a contender.
That's right. Let's have a look at the lap now. He's coming to the last corner on the Dubai Autodrome GP circuit. You can see Josh Purwin and the Australian coloured cars right behind him. So down this long straight into turn 1, overtaking opportunities into turn 1. You can get a slipstream. It's about a kilometre long, this long first straight. Braking for about 260 kilometres per hour, down to second gear. Goes downhill quite a bit, and then now up through the gears again, flat through turn 2, flat through turn 3, this first part of turn 3, then goes into turn 4, which tightens up a bit. You might have to have a small lift if the line's not right, flat through turn 5, and now you have to brake. That turn 6, you have to brake for turn 6, get on the throttle again. Lots of understeer here for turn 7. You're quite tricky to slow it down, and you quite often run out of room, like Siswoyo just did. Now flat through turn 8. Now turn 9 is the most important corner. This corner here, it tightens up on you, but you can carry a lot of medium speed, mid corner speed. But still, the exits are the most important, because now it leads on this massive long straight, over a kilometer here, and you can get a slipstream. This is where the best overtaking opportunities are as you brake for turn 10. And turn 10, it's a very tight hairpin, 60 kilometers per hour from about 270 kilometers per hour. Very easy to get it wrong. As you see Purwin just exiting stage left. Now through turn 11, small lift to get through turn 11, and then up through the gears again for turn 12. Turn 12 again, second gear hairpin. quite tempting to go early and try and climb all over that apex, but you really have to make sure you get a good exit. You get a good exit there, there's this long straight through here, and he's just set the purple first sector, so he's going even faster on this lap. Full throttle to 13 here, and then turn 14, this long corner turn 14. You'll see a lot of drivers have half chances there. They'll try and stick their nose down there and then try and pull out, often a lot of contact. Small lift for turn 15 as you go back up through the gears, and now there's just one more corner to go. Turn 16, all about the exit here, to get a nice long drive down the start finish straight.
Anything inside a time of 1:57 is seriously quicker. Sizwoyo has achieved that. I don't think he's improved his fastest lap time there, but the Indonesian was pretty smooth throughout.
Yes, it was. Let's have a look at some of the liveries that some of these drivers are looking at so far today.
Yeah, the liveries. Josh Perwin in the green and gold of Australia. Danny Wells in the all black. Eamon Haziq in the turquoise. Motara and Richard Lyons both with the same livery, the black and yellow. Sizwoyo, you saw him in the all black. A couple of new racers for us here, Alex Clapano, but keep an eye out for Kalen Chin. He's in shop there now as well in the all-white. Darryl Brady had a really good time in the Porsche last week. Alistair Young, the next generation, is in his car, number 60. Tadashi alongside him. Brody Steen will be in the black and yellow. Leona Chin, welcome back to Leona, the Malaysian drifter. Chris Vasaratna, who started on the GT4s, is now up into the GT3s. So you saw all the liveries there. The drivers are allowed to change livery once a season, is it? Twice a season.
Yes, so they can change liveries once a season. Kalen was in the Corvette in the last race. He's changed to the BMW, so you can do one change, purely because it makes our life a living hell if we're trying to call drivers we don't recognize. But that's it, just one change. And when you do change, you do incur a 2-point penalty. But considering this is a long season, 2 points is not so bad.
We just mentioned Kalen Chin. He has posted a very quick lap time, 1:56.721. That means he is one of 5 racers who've gone inside 1:57. Sizwoyo, we saw Josh Perwin, Arjun Maini, the Formula 2 Indian driver, and Andy Karama are the other ones to go inside 1:57. Dan Wells currently 4th in the championship standing. Best time he's been able to post only 1:58.197. Maybe struggling here in Dubai.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. Nico Masi and Dan Wells, they really came on fire in round 2 in Buriram. Round 1 wasn't it in Buriram? They did a really good job. Were fastest drivers, and they were, I think, 1 and 3. But we saw them struggle a bit at the last round in Motegi, and I think Dan is still struggling a little bit off the pace. Has to find some time to try and get up to the front.
2 drivers who are logged in but not being able to set a time at the moment. Alistair Young and Alexis Clapano, the Filipino, and your young lad. Leona Chin, 6.5 seconds adrift. Now, Alistair's now set a time. He's just 3 seconds outside, so he's got himself a lap. He's got himself used to Dubai, which is a very tough circuit because there seems to be an awful lot of cornering, awful lot of little shimmies of corners that don't count as corners, little kinks in the road.
Yeah, it's quite a long track, 5.5 kilometers. It does go on and on. So you just have to, it's a sort of track you battle understeer a lot. These long corners tend to wear those front tires a bit. So all the standards for the setups for these cars are fixed. You can't change setups. So you tend to have to learn how to drive these cars with a bit of understeer. But the drivers that can do that and can get on top of it, they're the ones right at the front.
Practice is coming right the way down to the final few seconds. Sizwoyo will be the fastest in terms of practice. All the practice does, though, is get you used to the circuit, because qualification, where there's only 4 minutes allocated by Alex, it allows you effectively, Alex, just one real lap to post the time.
That's right. So now we're watching the drivers as they come onto the track. It's not Jaka, that's actually Kalen Chin's car. Oh, he's made a mistake. Oh, he's doing the wide line to make sure he gets a nice, good exit out of the last corner. Smart by the 13-year-old Australian Singaporean driver. As he comes down the start-finish straight, let's follow him along, shall we, for this lap and see how it goes. Braking for the first corner. Have to use a bit of the exit road. He doesn't actually. He keeps it right nice and clean on the tarmac. Doesn't use any of the extra road on the side. That's coloured red. But he does use all the curb through turn 2, which is smart doing. You do touch the curb here through turns 3 and 4. You have to be flat through this corner here. Yes, nicely done, perfectly placed. Nicely done. Has managed to rotate the car really well there, which meant he would have... Oh, but he's just a bit too hot there. Slid wide. That would cost him quite a bit of time. Will he be able to recover? These drivers will only have 1 lap in qualifying to get it. If you do mess up the first few corners, you can restart that lap. There is enough time to do that. But Kalen obviously feels that he's going to continue with this lap. Now down the long back straight down to turn 10. He's got the fastest first sector roll, 49.7, but I wouldn't be surprised if 1 or 2 other cars beat that, because it wasn't very clean through turn 7 for the young Australian. Now through turn 10, looks in the right part of the track. Small lift here if you can get it rotated at the apex. Now up the gears again to turn 12. It's all about the exit here. The quick drivers they nail their exit so well. Nabil's very impressive through that corner. I was watching him in practice earlier in the week. All these drivers have been practicing for this race throughout the week. Now braking for turn 14. Oof, a little bit of a moment there. He's run too wide. No, he's not run too wide. He's okay there. That's not bad. Not the best I've seen through there, but good enough. Penultimate corner. Now down for the fast final corner. Let's see what sort of lap time he does. He could surprise me. I don't think this is going to be a pole position lap, but, you know, I've been surprised by scruffier laps in the past.
Kalen Chin coming in a time of 1:56.823. That's 3rd quickest at the moment, because Josh Perwin and Andika Rama have been able to post quicker times than him. Akim Tadashi, now then Arjun Maini in there, and Sizwoyo has again proven that he's good on this circuit. In the BMW, Jacques Sizwoyo has put a very quick time, 1:56.503, to take the lead from Josh Perwin.
Wow, what a good job. I mean, he came into we saw he was really quick at the last race in Motegi, but he didn't really have a good race, didn't quite put it together, but he's really shown that he's a man to be watched. Pole position, his first pole position of the year.
It's not guaranteed as yet, because there's a minute there, and there's certainly some people still out on the track. This is Ruben Wong, who's 50.33 on through sector 1, so he's improved on his previous fastest time. Now then, Richard Lyons, I know you're delighted to see Richard join the circuit, although he nearly went off the Dubai circuit there. Currently P15 for Richard Lyons. Does need to post a time of some description.
Shame for Richard. That would have been he would have had this lap disqualified there, because he went off the track. So it looks like he's not going to set a lap, so he's going to have to start the back. Former Nippon champion, Super GT champion, a Northern Irish driver. He came up to the ranks of me, really. Very, very quick driver indeed. Factory GT driver, lives in America now. So he's doing this out of Miami at crazy time. So unfortunately he's going to start at the back, but this man can certainly race.
Leona Chin at the very back. Vasaratna has just put in a qualification time, so he will start in P15, but I can tell you it will be Josh Perwin who will be on pole for this. Jacques Sizwoyo will be on pole, with Josh Perwin joining him on the first row of the grid. So they've got a minute or so just to compose themselves and think of their tactics. For those at the front, it's relatively straightforward. For those in rows 3, 4, 5 and 6, it's essential to get off to a quick start, Alex.
Yes, totally agreed. And some of the drivers still haven't quite figured out the start, so there was a lot of chatter in the WhatsApp groups about trying to get the start right. You have to time it right by getting it as you select first gear, just as the lights go to green, with just the right traction control settings. You can change traction control settings as well as brake balance, and if you get that right, you will get the better start. Now as we wait for the drivers for the cars to appear from the pit lane onto the grid, and we'll be off racing in just a few moments.
Perwin in the green is the man to look out for. Kalen Chin currently in P4, Maney in the yellow livery in P5, alongside Tadashi, the best of the Mercedes. Now then, often it's a long red. It's not this time. Sizwoyo, who's been lightning fast throughout practice and qualification. He's got off to a good start as well. He's just able to hold off Josh Perwin. Brilliant start from Andika. Andika's got himself into P2 as Josh Perwin pushes through on the inside, and Perwin goes from P3 to P1 in a single corner.
Wow, what a great move. Susoyo just pushed too hard to turn 1, and that you know, he had the move done, he just made it too deep, and that resulted in him going from first to third, although he's managed to get back up to second position.
A big problem also there for Caleb Chin, who has gone massively down the rankings as Josh Perwin leads from Sizwoyo. And Dika just ahead of Tadashi in the pink Hello Kitty car. Tadashi has to go wide around the outside. That allows Andika Rama to go through. Leona Chin 17, Caleb Chin. Something horrible happened to Caleb Chin because he's back in P18 as there's a crash, an incident right at the very back of the pack.
Yeah, Brody Steen there having a big moment. Another person made a good move is Richard Lyons. He went from last up to 13th, so he's had a great first half a lap.
Arjun Maini has had a dreadful time though, because Arjun Maini went from P5 to P17. Alistair Young, who didn't set a qualification time, he's got himself up to P10. This is Darryl Brady, currently in P7 on the back of Ayman Haziq in the best of the Porsches. Only Elman from Philippines in P12 is in the other Porsche. Let's just stick with Brady, who had a terrific race number 2 last time out at Motegi. This time, though, it's the Dubai circuit. Brady goes on the inside, gets himself up to P7, just ahead of Clapano.
Oh, that's a move there. Clapano should have given a bit of space, I think, at the apex, but still, Taufik Moin, too aggressive, kept his foot in. We'll have to review that after the race and put Clapano, the first-time driver with us, into the barrier.
There is Alistair Young, who is possibly going to have to be judged by his dad a little bit later on. Sizwoyo it is, who is second behind Josh Perwin. Perwin in the green, Suo in the all-black, picked up 19 points in his one-round race weekend so far. P3 Andika, P4 Tadashi. Dan Wells, good start for Dan Wells. He's got himself up to P5. We're on board here with Alistair Young. Just talk us through Alistair's form at the moment.
So he's just coming down through turns 5 and 6 and 7. Good first lap for him. He actually did manage to set a lap time. I think it was 13th. So to be up to 9th is quite good for him. Further in front, though, here's Dan Wells. He's 4th in the championship at the moment. He had a good first lap, up to 5th position. Don't forget, the top 10 guys after these first 2 races will go through to the final, and that's what you want to do. Auto director, promise you, it's not me. It's looking at Alistair Young at the moment. Let's see if he can make a move on Sabino, who's just in front of him. He's going to have a look down the inside of turn 10. No, not close enough. Decides to pull out the move. And oof, no mistake at least.
Then just closes the door on Taufik Maheen and 2 young Malaysian drivers in the BMWs working hard then. This is the Hong Kong racer Dan Wells, currently in P5. The lead for Josh Perwin along with Sizwoyo, you can see them ahead. Then Andika. Tadashi is the man under pressure. Tadashi in the pink Hello Kitty, under pressure from Dan Wells. Darryl Brady in the first of the Porsches on the tail of Ayman Haziq. We have had 3.5 minutes of this race, which has just flown by as Brady is still on the back. Kalen Chin. Now, something happened to Kalen very early on, but he's got himself up from P13 ahead of Vasaratna. Vasaratna then takes him. Kalen goes on the inside. Real swapping of places there between the Thai and Kalen Chin. Kalen is strong enough to hold off Vasaratna, and this time Kalen Chin does hold on, head of Vasaratna and Arjun Maini, who's still struggling down in P14.
Yes, it'll be interesting to watch that. Kalen and Arjun Maini, they're a lot further back than they should be, so it'll be interesting to watch them come back through the field. Arjun Maini, actually in the yellow car just behind these 2 cars, he's changed cars. He's in the BMW.
He has, hasn't he? Yes.
He's been very quick in the Merc for the first 3 races we've had him in. So surprisingly, though, he feels the BMW is a bit more comfortable to drive, so he switched to the BMW for this round, but it's not doing him any favours at the moment.
Kalen Chin, the young Australian, youngest driver out on the circuit for us, currently in P12, but we know he's got the ability to get up closer to the podium places. Behind them, Arjun Maini has made a move on Vasaratna. Arjun Maini goes on the inside of Vasaratna. Is he able to hold on? The answer is yes. Arjun Maini just holds on. Vasaratna drops down now to P14. Arjun Maini, terrific move from the Indian driver. Vasaratna, we're behind him. How late will he leave his braking? The answer is very late. Tries to go around the outside, but Arjun Maini takes that one absolutely beautifully, like on railway tracks.
Yeah, so he made that move with a good exit out of turn 9. So that's that fight done and dusted. Arjun moves on to the next one.
We're just beyond the 1/3 mark. Taufik Mohian in the BMW, car number 10. Alistair Young is the man who he has got in his sights. Taufik in the all black. Alistair Young in car number 60, just ahead of him. Hasn't picked up a point yet, Alistair, although he's appeared in all of the races, so we'll be looking to try to get some kind of a consistency. Hasn't seen an awful lot of this circuit either, but he's driving it pretty neatly at the moment. Ahead of him, this is Leo Sabino from Macau. He is on the tail end of the first and the best of the Porsches, Darrell Brady.
Ayman Hakim defending from Dan Wells. Dan Wells trying to go around the outside in the BMW of the Mercedes. Hakim not able to do it. Is he trying to switch back? No, Tedeschi is... Ayman Hakim is too mature for that. Too much of an old driver here. He knows all the tricks. Wasn't going to let Dan Wells do the undercut, cut back on him. So he keeps that position to fight for another day.
They go up and down the brow of the hill into the sharp right-hand corner. Dan Wells has spun. There was contact on the back of Tadashi, and Dan Wells loses space. He goes down to P8. Sabino is ahead of him. Alistair Young is now closing rapidly on Dan Wells, the 4th place man in the championship. That's a bit of a nightmare for Wells.
Yes, it is. Back down 8th position. Oh, you really need to score at least a good 12 points to be sure of getting through to the final. So you have to make sure you're at least in the top 7 or 8 in the first one, and then try and get a few more points in the reverse one. Other than that, big contact with the cars behind.
It's Alistair Young who's just been forced out by Taufik and then is able to hold on. Just got the line back, did Alistair Young, who's been involved in some pretty good races, used the full width of this wide Dubai circuit. Alistair Young did have Dan Wells in his sight, but now he's under real pressure from Taufik. Just a little comment. Clapano is 18. Lyons is way down in 19. Let's go to the front of the race where Siswoyo is still trying to put pressure on Josh Perwin. You join us. Alistair Young is bottom right of your screen alongside Des Corkill. This is the race for the eRacing Grand Prix Southeast Asia Global Edition. Josh Perwin, the teenager from Australia, bearing the green and gold of his home nation. He is leading the way, and the lead is, without being comfortable, he has looked pretty comfortable ever since he took the lead over from Siswoyo. And Dika Rama has just been ultra consistent in the P3, and those three, Alex Young, are pulling away from the rest.
Yeah, I mean, all three drivers, actually, none of them have won a race yet, I think, in the championship. Though Josh is second in the championship right now because he's consistently always been on the podium. They're all lightning fast, and it really just comes down to professionalism, who can put in the most work. I have to say, Josh, he's on the sim every day. I talked to him quite a bit. So he's putting in a lot of work, going about this in a very professional way. So is Soyo, and of course, Andika Rama behind. He's an old hand. He's very well known, arguably the best sim driver from Indonesia. So he's got a point to be made as well, because he was winning the final in Motegi when he spun out of the lead. So we know he's capable of winning. All three drivers are definitely going to get through the final, I feel. And it'll be interesting to see if one of them can snatch the win.
Just so you know, we're all remote. All the racers are driving remote sims. So they are battling against each other in their own cockpits, from their own bedrooms or their own living room, or wherever they are in lockdown around the region. And Alex and myself, we're also in lockdown as well. Just bring you a little bit of live entertainment, but it's highly qualified, highly skilled entertainment. As we go back down to P7, Darrell Brady is right on the back here of Macau's Leo Sabino. Brady could make a move here, Alex Young.
It's looking down the inside. Will he dive down the inside? It's hard to dive down the inside of someone. Oh, he is. He's done this move before. Oh, contact. Overcooked it. Darrell Brady overcooked it.
And Dan Wells capitalizes. Wells goes through into P6. Alistair Young into 7. Caleb Chin, credit to him, he's got himself way up to P8. In fact, Chin has got himself ahead of Alistair Young into P7. There's Arjamani in P10, and Darrell Brady, we caught him on P7. We caught him at the right time. Well, for us, wrong time for him. He's back down to P10.
back at the front. Suzuyo looking very much closer to Perwin. Only 4 minutes to go. Woody, I mean, this is the tricky thing. This is a group stage race. He'll be very happy with second position because all they want are the points to get to the final. But having said that, these points also count towards the championship. But you don't want to risk making a silly move for the lead and then ending up outside the top 10 because A, you lose the points, but more importantly, you then won't make the final. Suzuyo, oh, for a minute there I thought he spun.
He did visually, but I think in real life he just caught it. The racers are driving around about laps of 157.8, 158, so it's relatively conservative compared to the quick times they're putting out in qualification. Nonetheless, these three are close, and Andy Karama, Alex Young, he's not being shaken off, and there's enough time left, there's plenty of time left for him to put pressure on those front two.
Yeah, I got a soft spot for Rama. He's always a really dramatic driver to watch. He's super aggressive, super fast, but sometimes a bit fragile, like we saw in Motegi when he spun out of the lead. But also on our test race, the very first race in Shanghai, do you remember how he took the lead on the penultimate lap with a great move on the second last corner, and then lost the lead on the last lap to finish third? Well, as Perwin runs wide,
Suzuyo has a look on the inside. They come into this sharp right-hand corner. It's all about getting your positioning just right. Suzuyo will look on that mistake from Josh Perwin and think, hey, with 3.5 minutes still to go, there will be mistakes. They come down into the start-finish line, up the brow of the hill. Is he close enough to get a bit of drag? Perwin in the green, hidden is Suzuyo. Will he make a move? The answer is, well, Josh Perwin has disappeared. What has happened to Josh Perwin temporarily? We have Suzuyo in the lead, and Suzuyo has swerved, and Andy Karama takes the lead. Alex Young.
Wow, what has happened? We've lost Perwin from the leaderboard completely. I know he's having issues with connecting to the server because he had some internet issues. I hope he's not out of the race completely.
That is really tough, both on him, but also Andy Karama. You mentioned that he's been the one who's caused one or two problems. Here, he's been able to capitalize on a spin out by Suzuyo, who is currently down in P3, chasing Akim Tadashi.
Okay, so we just talked about how quick Suzuyo was at Motegi, but he had a few mistakes and he didn't finish as high as he'd hoped. So we've seen another mistake from him. He needs to be careful now not to compound these mistakes and keep on doing it. Third place or second place as he makes a move on Ayman to second position. Oh, will he hold it? They're going around the outside, drivers giving each other space as it should be. Suzuyo's got the move done.
He's certainly got the pace so far. He's able to just waltz past Tadashi. Tadashi, though, is carrying a little bit of damage, was obviously in a car that's not quite at its best. Eamon Hazik is in P4, Danwell's 5, Kalen Chin's got himself up to 6, Tufik 7, Alistair Young, his best race of the season in P8, and he's dragging Arjun Maini along with him. 1.5 minutes to go, plus whatever lap is they are on at the end there. Going wide is Jackie Suzuyo, who's back in the lead and surely has got the pace to be able to hold on.
Yeah, back in second position. We must not forget Andika Ram, who's way out in front. There he is, number 19 in the foreground as he comes over the brow into turn 1.
Josh Perwin is nowhere to be seen. We will give you an update on what happened to Josh Perwin, but he was in a battle for P1. Andika Rama leads, Suzuyo in P2, Tadashi in P3. You're quite right. Andika Rama's got himself a very, very healthy lead of 6.5, 7 seconds. This is Brady in P10, just ahead of Sabino from Macau and Brody Steen in P11. Brady under real pressure. 2 Porsches in that little group, and they are sandwiching the Filipino Leo Sabino.
Yeah, to see this fight there further back between Kalen Chin. He's making great progress. He's all over the back of Dan Wells as he goes down the inside. Oh, it's a risky move. Dan has to give him space. Does give him some space on the exit.
Gives him a lot of space, does Dan Wells. Goes outside the limits. You are allowing a generous number of penalty points there as Chin has a look on the inside of Wells. He got himself just ahead. They are wheel to wheel. front headlight to headlight, and Dan Wells is just able to hold on. Leo Sabino has a little look around the outside, but can't get the better of Brady. We are on the final lap. Andika Rama looks certain to pick up his first victory of the season. This is round 3 of 6 of the championship in the lockdown series of eRacing Grand Prix. Kalen Chin in P6 on the tail of Dan Wells. Has he got enough time? Has he got enough pull? Wells closes the door.
Yes, covers the inside. Smart move to cover the inside there. It's too tempting on the last lap to go down the outside. Sorry, trying to dive. Oh, he does the switchback. But no, Dan's got the inside for this. He should hold the position to the end. Andika Rama wins it. Nice and clear. But back to the fight to Kalen Chin. He's going to try and go around the outside of the last corner. Can he make it? No, Dan Wells takes his line.
Still Kalen Chin tries to get a little bit of contact. Kalen Chin in P6. Maney outsprints Alistair Young for P7. Alistair picks up his best of the season. The Porsche Brady in P8. Sabino and 9 ahead of Ruben Wong, Tofik, Brody Steen, Elman from the Philippines, and Vazaratna, the last of the points. Clapano, Leona Chin, who's still out on the track, and Rich Lyons, all out of the points. But the victory, first of the season, goes to Andika Rama. But we need a little bit of an inquiry as to what happened to Josh Perwin's sim.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. My heart's going out to Josh. I think he must got disconnected, and this is one of the issues with online racing sometimes. And that's why we record the global editions. We have drives from all around the world, but if you have a poor internet connection, you can get disconnected.
There is the official result. I'm not sure you've got too much to worry about here. Andika Rama for Indonesia picks up his first victory of the season. Joko Suzuyo in P2. Tadashi, best result of him for the season, first podium ahead of Ayman Haziq in P3. Hong Kong's Dan Wells finishing in P4. Immediately, in the blink of an eye, Alex, we go into the reverse grid race.
Yeah, and reverse grid race obviously gives us very exciting racing. The drivers who finish at the back of race 1, they now start at the front. The guys who finish at the front now start at the back, and they have only 15 minutes to try and get to the front. Often see a bit of carnage, but these are pro races. They generally are quite careful, or shall I say precise. They're very precise on where they put the car. So generally speaking, there is not too much carnage in this race. I mean, compared to what you'd expect there to be.
Remember, this is Group A of 2 groups. The championship leader, Mohammed Naqib, comes up in a later double race, but now we are ready. Lyons on pole alongside Leona Chin. Lyons in the dark stakes, in the slate grey livery. Oh, there's a fast start from near the back. Brody Steen got off to an absolute flyer. Clapano has got ahead of Leona Chin. Poor start from Leona Chin, who's dropped down to P5. Lyons maintains first place, though. They come down the long straight. Brody Steen has come from P7 to get up into the lead at the end of the first straight.
Yes, Brody Steen, he had that mistake in race 1, so he looks fired up. What a first lap. Obviously got a great start, good drag into turn 1. Perfect around that first corner, and he's into the lead.
So the Australian, what a start from him, goes a little bit wide there, will possibly lose the lead to Clapano, who had a difficult first race, but Brody Steen is able to hold on. Dan Wells up in P6, Kalen Chan in 7, Alistair Young 8, Daryl Brady 9. Down at the bottom, Leona Chin, who started on the front row of the grid, has dropped down to P16. Difficult race for Leona.
Yes, also Richard Lyons also did not have a good first few corners as opposed to race 1, when he had a great first half lap. Clapano looking on the inside, tucks back to the slipstream, and looks trying around the outside of the next corner.
It's Elman in P3 for the Philippines. Philippines 2 and 3, Clapano and Elman. Leading the way, though, is Brody Steen. A little bit further down, young Kalen Chin has got himself up into P5. Alistair Young under pressure from Daryl Brady. Daryl Brady in the Porsche, putting real pressure on the back of Alistair Young. Looked like there was a little bit of virtual contact there, but it's Chin leading from Alistair Young. That's the battle for P6, with Brady in the beautifully coloured Porsche in P7.
Further back, good fight here between Richard Lyons, Ruben Wong in the background, the Merc. So good to see another Merc out there. A lot of drivers going to the BMW. Nice to see them coming to the to a few drivers at least.
Oh, going off there. Tadashi is in a good position. Somebody went off. I think it was Maheen and actually Rich Lyons it was who went off.
Yes. So poor Richard, it's not his day. It's godforsaken time in Miami at the moment, so I think he might just have to go back to bed.
As Darrell Brady has very, very much focused on Alistair Young. Brady looks on the inside. Young once again holds his line. Alistair, this has been his best couple of races of the season. He picked up his first points in race number 1. Here he's holding off a concerted challenge from Darrell Brady and Andika Rama. Andika's got himself up into the top 8 position, which is a point scoring position in this reverse grid race.
And he's also, to add to Alice's woes, he's lost the slipstream of the cars in front. It's very important to try and keep the slipstream because it does make a big effect around this track with its long straights. And now he's got the Porsche all over the front, all over the back of him. He's got to cover the inside. Darrell Brady has to go to the outside as they battle for 6th position.
Darrell Brady is able to go around the outside. Picks up P6 from Alistair Young. Andika is in P8. So Brady, that's a great move in the first of the Porsches. Ahead of them, Brody Steen, after that sensational start, still leads the way. Brody Steen in the first of the Porsches. Porsche in 1, 3 and 7 as Young goes past Brady once again. Great response from Alistair, and he's trying to take Andika Rama with him. Brady tries to hold on the inside. Cars going 2 abreast. Andika Rama tries to get inside Alistair Young. What a maneuver! Then Andika is pushed wide. There's a little bit of contact. Sizwoyo is forced sideways. And it's Brady from Andika and Alistair. And Sizwoyo loses 5 positions.
Wow, it looked like a traffic jam in downtown KO just now. Cars just 2 by 2 as they went through turn 12. Now, down the start-finish straight, you can see the Porsche there. Which Porsche is that?
That's Brody Steen still leading. Oh, and Sabino.
Going around the outside.
So Sabino goes round to the outside of Elton. So there's Steen in the black ahead of Clapano. Sabino up into P3. Just holding on is Elman from Philippines in the second of the Porsches.
Oh,
Sabino
contact.
gets ahead of Elman. Elman gets ahead of Sabino. Big contact as they come into the corner number 6. And well, Elman is certainly in the wars there. And Kalen Chin showing bags of aggression.
He's going to try cover. He's going to look down the inside. Oh no, he had the contact. Well, we're definitely going to have to look at that after the race. Such a shame because Elman was driving really well.
Just eased him off NASCAR style. Just edged him around, lost the back end Elman, and Elman goes from a battle for P4 right the way down to P11 ahead of Arjun Maini. This is Andika Rama, makes a move looking for P5, winner of race number 1. Remember, this is a reverse grid race, so to win back-to-back races in this round is quite some effort. Although Andika will be advised just to make sure he makes it through to the final, Alistair Young.
Yes, or Alex Young. It's all so confusing,
He's when he's there.
But yes, it's, Ramos, he's got through the final already. Wrong race 1, he's in P6, picks up a few more points. It's good for the championship, but he doesn't want to risk too much. Because, well, actually, you know what? He could risk. He's already through to the final. He's got enough points for the final. So if he wants to take a bit of risk to make a few more points, why not?
My word, the lockdown is getting to us. Alex Young is suggesting a driver takes a risk. Alistair is right on the tail of Andika, ready to capitalise if there is a mistake. Darrell Brady is there. We are watching the battle here for P5. As Steen goes through in P1 ahead of Clapano, Sabino in 3, Chin in 4, then Brady in shot in 5. Andika has a look. Alistair looks on the inside on turn number 1. Has he got enough time as they come into the slithery, snaky S shape all the way through 2, 3, 4 to take us into the sharp right-hander into corner number 6. Difficult to overtake in this little section of track.
Yes, Andika just cooked it a bit through turn 1. He's going to look into turn 7. Oh, it's a tight corner to try and do it. Brady, very smart there, gave some space at the apex. He knew Andika was having a look. And when you have those moments, you just have to leave some space at the apex. There's no point closing the door and hoping the driver will go away, because that just ends up with contact and you going backwards.
We are on board with Andika. Behind him is Alistair Young. Eamon Hazik is in there as well. He's in the turquoise. The lights flashing is from Vasaratna, and Tadashi's ahead of him.
Whoa.
Andika goes on the inside of Darryl Brady. Darryl Brady late on the brakes, is able to hold on. Who has the inside line? Well, Brady. That's really well done, but there was a gamble taken there by Andika Rama. He is not satisfied with P6.
No, he's not. Ayman does a good move down Young at the hairpin there. Looks like he's got the move made.
Alistair Young goes down one place to P8 where he finished race number 1. It's Ayman Hazik who gets into P6. At the front, I can tell you, Kaylan Chin has got himself into P3, or a big battle with Klapano. This is P3. Kaylan Chin, right of your screen as we look now. In the battle, he's got the inside line, but can't get round Klapano. This is a really good debut race from Klapano from the Philippines. They come over the start-finish line. There will be under 7 minutes to go. Brody Steen is still holding on to that lead from Sabino. Klapano, though, is under immense pressure from Kaylan Chin.
Yeah, it's good moves by the 13-year-old. He's all over the back of him, so looking quite good there. Further back, though, let's have a look at Darryl Brady. His fight with Ayman Hazik, because Andika has gone through.
Andika has indeed gone through ahead of Darryl Brady. Ayman Hazik is right there. Alistair Young is just being left a little bit by this little group of 3. Andika Rama, I suppose he's got eyes only on Kaylan Chin in front of them, and they'll be hoping that the Chin and Klapano do themselves out racing. Chin again through the outside. Strong defensive work from Klapano.
That's the second time we've seen Kaylan do that. He did that with one of the Porsches earlier on. We'll have to look at the onboards again, because I'm a bit unsure that Kaylan was a bit too aggressive and caused one of the Porsches to spin out, and he just almost did the same move again on Klapano.
So the scheduled final is at 7:30, but if there's enough protests or enough moments for Alex in race control to have to look at, then we might be forced to delay, but we're doing our best to keep you 6:30 Hong Kong time for the final later on. Chin, though, still in aggressive action. But great defensive work from Klapano. It's so easily to be put off your track when somebody is pushing you and pushing you and pushing you the way Kaylan Chin is, Alex.
Yes, he is. And Kaylan, despite his young age, is showing to be quite a good racer. Maybe a bit naive at times with some of his aggressive moves. But wow, this young man has a really bright future.
But if he does see the opening, Kaylan Chin is going to have a little look as they come into this sharp right-hander. Klapano has got to get his line right. Any mistakes, he knows Chin is out for blood as they come into the start-finish lane. Under 5 minutes. And Brody Steen, we've not really spent much time about Brody Steen, but that start that Brody Steen made, Alex Young, has put him in this position, and he's led from first corner to now.
Yeah, the Australian teammates, I think, with Josh Perwin. So it's great to see him. We've seen he's been very quick. Maybe not front running quick quite yet, but he's definitely been just there or thereabouts. Took full use of this reverse grid, because he didn't start at the front, did he? He started a few rows back. Great start, and he's had the pace to hold off Sabino for the rest of this race.
I'm pretty sure he was row number 4, and yet he muscled his way through. He got off to a terrific start, Brody Steen. Further behind, you've got Sabino in 2. Chin is still all over the back of Klapano, but real credit to Klapano, the Filipino. There is the battle. Steen in the black, Sabino for Macau in the white. Then behind them, Klapano facing the real pressure. We're on board here with Kaylan Chin. Andika Rama. Now, how close is Andika Rama? He is closing in just a little bit, and with nearly 4 minutes still to race, you don't count out Andika Rama for a podium position, Alex.
No, you don't. He's such a cagey driver. We got 3.5 minutes to go. I could see him getting onto this battle between Kaylan Chin and Klapano.
The gap at the moment is less than half a second, but it's only track ahead of Andika Rama. Kaylan Chin is only really looking at the back end of Klapano. Klapano is, I'm sure, looking into his reverse mirrors at every opportunity, but he's driven a lovely line through there, uses the full width of the circuit, and still Klapano is able to defend against Kaylan Chin. But all the while, as they come onto the start-finish straight, Andy Karama has closed right in. Andy Karama is within half a second.
Yes, he is. Look, Kalen Chin is going to go to the outside here. Klapano covers the inside as he should. Kalen, whoa, sweeps around the outside. Has he got the traction on the marbles? They're side by side, cuts turn 2, slots in behind Klapano again as he goes through turns 3 and 4.
I am loving the defensive drive here of Klapano. He has been under immense pressure, but while they duel, Andy Karama edges meter by meter, closer and closer. Andy Karama is now right on the rear lights of Kalen Chin. Chin through the inside. Klapano again defends heroically. Has he got enough there? Has to take the right-hander. Kalen Chin, uber aggression down the long straight. Klapano holds on, defends. Chin moves out, makes the move. Klapano defends again. Andika comes on the inside. Chin around the outside. Klapano holds on for grim death. What a battle. Chin eventually gets through. Chin into P3.
Wow, what a great move by Chin. He's got to cover the inside now for this right-hander because he's going to invite someone coming down the inside if you don't cover the inside. He was fortunate to get away with that because Klapano was looking at Andika, who's all over the back of him now.
Andy Karama was forced very wide, so after best part of 9 or 10 minutes defending, Klapano has lost P3 and may even lose another position. A bit of contact there. Klapano pushed out by Andy Karama. Another one for race control.
Yes, that's another one for us to look at race control. He'll have to send the videos in, but Klapano mustn't lose his head. He's driven a great race so far. He just needs to stick at the back of Andika here. He may get another move. There's still a minute to go. And also, let's not forget, we will have to review all these incidents after the race.
They're on the final lap, and now then, Brody Steen under pressure. For the first time from Sabino. Sabino has decided to wait until the final lap, lulling Brody Steen into a sense of false security. Leo Sabino from Macau got really close. 0.2 of a second. We are on the final lap. There's still about 4+ kilometers to go. And for the first time, Alex Young, Brody Steen's feeling the heat.
Yes, that Porsche's used up its tyres quite a bit. His pace has just dropped off quite a bit in the last lap as he runs a tight line through turn 9. Oh, he'll be fortunate to have that gap there for this long straight. Sabino's not quite close enough to take use of a proper toe. I think Brody Steen might have it. Brody Steen might have it in the bag.
Behind them, Klapano's got himself ahead of Andy Karama. Once again, Daryl Brady in 6, Hazik 7, Young in 8, Tadashi 9, Vazaratna 10. This is the battle for P1 though. Leo Sabino in the white, right on the tail lights of Brody Steen, who has led since the very first corner, Brody Steen. But that Porsche is now under more pressure than it has had. The race 15 minutes is over. This is now a sprint to the line.
It is, as they come down this long straight here through turns 12, 13 and 14. This is really the last chance Sabino has to make the overtake. He's not close enough, but Steen can still make a mistake. Oh, he's poking it down the inside. It's not close enough, mate. So Steen has to cover the inside. The penultimate corner here. Coming to the last corner, cover the inside, mate. You're just asking for him to dive down the inside.
Oh, Brody Steen and Leo Sabino were nearly involved. Thankfully, the sim has recovered, and Brody Steen is able to go from a first corner to race the victory for his first victory of the season ahead of Sabino. Chin in P3. Klapano holds on for P4 against Andika. Brady 5, Hazik 6, Young 7, Tadashi 7, 8, and Dan Wells makes it into the top 10. Arjun Maini also in the top 10. Wow, a bit of a nervy moment for Brody Steen right at the end, but he's got a victory that is as hard worked as any I've seen this season, Alex Young.
Yes, absolutely, and he did it in the Absolute car as well. I think I saw Fabian, the team boss from Absolute, watching the stream earlier on, so he'll be pleased to see a car in his colours win this race.
Brody Steen in the reverse grid race will pick up 15 points for that. That will be enough to put him into the final, but it was the start that was such a magnificent way. I'm pretty sure he was on row 4 of the grid and got himself right up to take the victory. On the line from Mikhail Sabino, Kalen Chin P3, Clapano, great battle for the Filipino for P4 ahead of Andy Karama. Daryl Brady also from the Philippines in the Porsche in P6 ahead of Hazik. Alistair another P8, Tadashi and Dan Wells completing the top 10.
Well, that was exciting, wasn't it? Very good race.
Race control, though, Alex. You've got 1 or 2 or 3 all on the same corner. Yeah. Incidents to look at. 2 involving young Callan Chin and 1 right at the end there involving Andy Karama. So I'll be interested to see your judgments on that particular moment.
So Des, we'll have to wait. We got 10 minutes now, well 5 minutes. The Group B are now in the servers. They are practicing. We can go straight to Group B. I think the servers are open and they're practicing at the moment. But what did you think of that race then?
Well, that was terrific. It was the start. We've not really seen anybody start like Brody Steen did. He came from so far back on the grid. I'm pretty sure it was row 4. At the very least, it was row 3. You saw him to the left of the screen at the start, jumping outwards, and he just accelerated down that long straight. You mentioned the start earlier on in this stream, and Brody Steen got off to, by far, the best start I have seen by any competitor in any race this campaign.
Yeah, that was certainly an impressive start. But at the moment we're just going to see. I might disappear from view in a second because I need to check on some of the videos, see some of the incidents, to see might have to hand out some time penalties from Group A. Those 2 races are done. But now we're looking to Group B, and we can have a look at what sort of drivers there are. But do you want to look at what the drivers are like? We can have a look at what Alif does from the last race. See a driver's eye view of what they do to race in the eRacing Grand Prix.
Very often when I talk about eRacing Grand Prix to my friends on Facebook and YouTube friends, don't forget to share this. What is eRacing all about? And I say, well, guys have cockpits in their own bedrooms. And it's difficult to actually explain that, and we're in remote locations as well. All comes together in one big screen. So let's see exactly what we mean. This is Alif, who takes the nickname Hamilton from Singapore, one of the better drivers that we've got. He's 3rd in the championship series. He's coming up in the next race, but this is what he's like at home. That's what we mean by e-racing. We're on the practice laps just at the moment. I think what we'd like to try and do is just familiarise you with 1 or 2 of the names. So we'll start off by showing you the championship standings as they are at the moment. And it's important because one of the competitors in the races that we're just about to show you, Mohammed Nakib, is the championship leader. Nakib, 110 points, got maximum points by winning both races, including the reverse grid race last week at the Motegi circuit. Josh Perwin, I've real feel for Josh. He wasn't able to complete race number 1 here, and Alif Hamilton, who we spoke about, completing the top 3. But for Nakib, if he carries on in the same kind of vein, he has got a real opportunity here to extend that lead at the top of the championship standings.
Yes, he does. Perwin not able to compete and get through the final means he drops a lot of points through no fault of his own. So we do feel for him. That is sometimes the issues with online racing. But as we have written into the rules, you can drop points from one championship. So Powen's not out of it. This will obviously be the race he drops points from. So he can still come back for the championship towards the end. But for sure, guys who look like they can win, there's those top three, Nakib, Alif, Powen, they're all drivers who could have won this weekend. Further back, Mikko Nassi, he was very quick in Buriram. He won the race in Buriram, but he didn't have the pace at the last race in Motegi. If he can find the same pace he had in the first round, he'll be there as well. Rachmat as well, we saw him, he was very good in Motegi. It was fun to see what sort of pace he can bring for Group B.
Just need to emphasise that those were the points before the start of any races this weekend. We haven't got live graphic updates. We will update you through our various means, through Facebook, YouTube, and we'll put videos out as well, just so that you know it's very, very tight. And something we've not really mentioned, Alex, the reason it's worth winning this championship is because there's a terrific prize.
Absolutely, and it's all thanks to Black Arts Racing, one of our partners. Black Arts Racing is arguably the best single-seater team in Asia, including Japan even. They're based out of China, southern China, Zhuhai, which funnily enough is the next track we go to. So Black Arts Racing, they won the Formula Renault Championship last year, they won Formula 3 Asia this year, and they are offering a prize to the best winner, so the championship winner, and the best young driver aged between 16 and 20, a drive in a single-seater car. So they actually get a test. And to test these single-seater cars, they're expensive. You're going to spend 3,000 or 4,000 euros for a test per day. So that's a really good prize for the winner of this championship. Also, big thank you to Raceroom. Raceroom also, one of our partners here. So they're also showing us and supporting us platform with great racing as well. It's allowing us to really fine-tune our productions. So we are doing all this at home, so we are limited to what we can do, not just on budget, but manpower. We can't have people here, we can't have full systems to show everything we can do. So we are quite limited by that. So good to have the support of partners like Black Arts Racing and Raceroom.
Yeah, and with the lockdown extended till April the 28th at the very least, the good news for you is that we're back on your screens, not only this weekend, but for the next 3 weekends. That marvellous prize that Alex was just describing is spread out over 6 racing rounds. This is number 3 of them. Zhuhai circuit next week. We've already been to Buriram, we've already been to Motegi, now Dubai. Great for me to get the experience of these. Next week, I understand, is Zhuhai. Let's focus though on this competition and the competitors that we've got racing for us.
So this is Group B, and actually, this is the wrong results from Group B. We will go back to the on-screen action and have a look at the liveries of the cars. You see Nakib there in the white car. Alif will be in the blue PlayStation car.
Bradley Rackmat's always worth looking at in the orange livery. Rich Bradley from the UK in the sky blue. Jan Erleshay hasn't really been able to pick up the points, but Tubagas is a good racer. Dominic Ang led for a long time, was involved in probably one of the highlights of the season so far. If you can look back at the highlights, he lost on the last corner. Mohammed Faiz Ryan alongside Scotty Lee from Hong Kong in the yellow. A debut for Kelvinder Singh and Amir Hazik. His brother raced in the first race. From Taiwan, we've got Su Tin Shin. Christian Duque, another debutant. Wata Inarong from Thailand, and Paul Au are completing the 20 racers involved in this Pool B. The top 10 point scorers from the 2 races that we have go into the final later on tonight, 6:30 Hong Kong and Kuala Lumpur time, where they will take on the top 10 from race number 1. Right, Muhammad Ali, without his mum, or maybe his mum is there just mopping his brow. Let's just stick with him, and Alif is currently in 3rd place in the championship standings. He takes the nickname Hamilton, and he's lived up to it, Alex Young.
Yes, he has. He's a very experienced driver from the region, from Singapore. Alif is, some sim drivers can't go between platforms, so he might be quick in Raceroom, but he might be slow in GT Sport or Formula 1. But Alif, I'm very impressed with this young man because he's quick across every platform. Every platform I've seen him drive, he's been right up there. And winning races on a regional and a world level as well. So he's a very good ambassador for the sport. He's quickest so far. He did a 56.8. which is not quite as quick as the boys from Group A. Group A, I think the fastest lap was a 56.4. But still, there's 9 minutes left. Drivers are still getting their eye in. We haven't seen Mohammed Naqib yet. Naqib has not set a lap yet. I hope he's coming into the room soon.
Jan Erleche is another who's not been able to set a lap as yet. And Naqib, I can't see he's actually been able to sign in as yet. And if that is the case, then that changes things absolutely dramatically in the overall championship standings. Miko Nassi has just posted a 1:58.022. This is practice, don't forget. Qualification is what really matters. What really matters is the race itself when you're able to pick up the points. But Alif Hamilton, 1:56.837, the first inside 1:57. Taruna second, Tobagas in third, Dominic Ang fourth, Luis Moreno fifth, and sixth is Jason Tay, who's another new debutant. I'm delighted to see you getting some new faces week after week after week, Alex.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, Alif getting a bit sideways there as he goes through turn 7. So, this is the time to try things. So you see some of the drivers in the ragged edge. They're looking at tyre wear as well. If you've got one eye on tyre wear, some of them might even be practicing pit stops, thinking about the final, because there will be a pit stop in the final. At the moment, though, Des, I'm just looking through the WhatsApp groups. Might be some incidents that I have to investigate a little bit after these next couple of races.
I'm sure there was so much contact in the previous race. I'm really looking out, though, to see if the championship leader, Mohammed Naqib, is able to log on. I can't see him on the list at the moment. That would be big. Mohammed Naqib, no time, non-set, invalid last lap on the data that we're getting. There is still 8 minutes for him to settle in, so if you're watching on a stream or you're missing something, Naqib, you are pushing this very, very close, because Alif Hamilton is in position to maybe take your lead in the championship standings if you're a no-show.
Yes, that's right. He has entered Naqib is into this practice now, so that's good. We already lost one championship contender with Perwin. It would be a disaster to lose another championship contender. All 20 drivers are in the room right now. Also new drivers, Melvin Mo. He's a Malaysian driver, very fast GT driver. Was my teammate a couple of years ago, in fact. It's good to see him there. He's one of the... Not all drivers can make the transition to Sims. Sims are very tricky, but Melvin is one of them. He was very quick in the leaderboard in the lead up to this, so it's good to see him there.
Easy to pick out Melvin as well in the red and black, beautiful looking vehicle. Melvin Mo in the Liqui Moly on the edge. We're on board with Melvin Mo just at the moment. His fastest lap time at the moment, 1:58.096. Let's have a look and see if we can stick along with Tobagas Naufal. Now, Tobagas was involved in one of the most incredible incidents last time out, where he was involved in a last corner incident with Fadli Rakhmat, who is alongside him in today's race. This is Tobagas. Let's just have a look if we can see what he's lapping like as they come up the technical part of this corner. A right into a left into a right. It's a little bit narrower. Then this right goes a little bit further than you want it. A little kink in the road takes you into another left, and then a sharp right which seems to go on forever. Being able to hold on to this one. As you say, it really does go a long way round. Tobagas, as usual, pretty quick. Now then, Naqib, he is on the track. There is Mohammed Naqib. This is his first little time out on the circuit, so the championship leader is there, but driving very, very tentatively at the moment, just feeling his way around the circuit. Maybe with 6 minutes to go, this will be his attempt just to put a lap in. Let's stick with Naqib for this, as he comes down the long start-finish straight into the right-hand corner, right on the brakes there, down to 100 kilometers an hour, accelerates out, left and right, you squiggle around, there's plenty of contact here. We saw that in the last race. So Naqib out on circuit at the moment, not the cleanest we've seen of him. Goes over the curb to the left, then to the right, and then this never-ending corner where you're constantly on the brakes, down to 100 kilometers an hour. Accelerate out of this, get your positioning quite right until you come onto this left hand. Again, it's a sharper left-hand corner than you think. It goes on for absolutely ever, but it allows you out into this long straight into corner number 10. This is where you want to get onto the slipstream. Once you're on the slipstream, you're up to 250, 260 kilometers an hour. How quick, how late can you leave your braking is the answer. The answer is very late. This is a good little lap coming in here from Nakib. 49.625 was the fastest Sector 1. So Nakib may well have been late into practice, but he's certainly showing the way. Coming to the tail end of Sector 2. Let's see how quick he is here. Nakib at the end of Sector 2. He takes this right-hand corner. He's got one big straight to come. 124, 125. You're looking 125, Sector 2. He's just outside, second fastest overall. So he was a little bit ragged in Sector 2, but it's certainly a decent little time. Alif Hamilton is still the man who is in the lead. Nakib, though, will be defending his championship lead.
Yep, sorry to keep you talking so long, Des. Just been looking at a few videos. Had to give some small contacts. Keelan Chin actually sent me a video just to prove that he didn't have contact with anyone. Driver spun by himself. This is one of the limitations of the online stuff for the real world is I don't have lots of people looking at lots of cameras, so we can't make. Normally in a race control, in a real race, you have like 40 cameras, and we have guides and replays and all sorts of stuff, so we look at incidents very quickly and come to decisions within minutes. We don't really have that here. Just one guy looking at videos and commentating and race control and timekeeping and everything. So, but we have to have a community. So what the drivers do is if they have an issue, they send me a video if they want to protest something. And if that protest is upheld, then that's good. The penalty will be given out and no issue. However, if they send me a protest and I throw out that protest, then that driver is not allowed to protest anything for 3 races. So it just gives a bit of control to make sure drivers don't simply get into incidents and then just protest everything. They have to be very sure that something is happening. At the moment it's going quite well. We talk about it a lot, see what the penalties are like. Obviously if the transgressions start getting too much, people start taking advantage of it, especially when there's a championship fight to fight for, then of course we may look at making the penalties more severe. At the moment we give a lot of benefit of the doubt. We say, okay, that might have just been a mistake, so we don't want to penalise you too much for a simple mistake. But we have this dialogue, so if we feel that it's getting too much and people are doing things on purpose, then we will literally throw the book at them.
Well, Alex was explaining the intricacies. We were on board with Arwin Taruna. Arwin was on for a very, very quick lap, but then just 157.006. Lost it just a little bit at the end. He's third fastest at the moment. So Alif Hamilton is the man who is in charge of this practice session. We've still got 2 minutes to go. In fact, Nakib has just posted. No, he hasn't. I thought Nakib had just posted the fastest lap there. He's quick, but very second fastest at the moment.
It's kind of interesting though. This Group B is not quite as quick as Group A was in their practice sessions. But of course, this is just practice. Let's see who can put together the lap time in qualifying in just a few moments' time.
Kelvinder Singh, welcome to Kelvinder. He's the only Corvette driver. He's 2.8 seconds off the fastest time at the moment. He's lapping 159.668, which is best at the moment for 14th, just behind Richard Bradley. Richard is always good to watch. He's a very aggressive driver, which Alex poo-poos just a little bit. I think is fantastic because more contact, so long as you're semi within the rules, the better for the neutrals. But Alif Hamilton still leads. Nakib second, Taruna third, to Baggers fourth. Look at that, Alex. It's BMW's 1 right the way through to 12. Let's see what Nasi can do. Representing Singapore, the Finn. He is fastest lap so far, 158, 144. So we're on the tail here of Miko Nasi. Let's see how clean he is coming through the lap here at the Dubai Autodrome. Slams down on the brakes, down into 90 kilometers an hour, 85, and then gets himself into a good position coming out into the left-right-hander. Nasi really started well, Alex.
Yeah, he did. Interesting line. He's practicing going into the pits, trying to attack the line. Interesting line through turn, was it 14 just now? He really hugged the apex. So these guys are practicing the pit stops now. It's kind of interesting because they have to get it right. You can make time going in, and then how you use the pit lane limiter, and then some of them also don't change all tires. They maybe only change the front tires or the rear tires because it saves them a few seconds if they think the tire wear is not going to be too bad.
Okay, qualification has started. Miko Nassi comes in for, I think you're allowed to start. No, let's stick with Alif Hamilton. Do you want to?
Yep, let me take you around. Let's see if we can do how he does. We followed Kalen Chin around in Group A. He made a couple mistakes, and that's why he wasn't on pole. Let's see what Alif can find. He uses all the road into turn 1. Makes the apex. Looks like he got the power nice and early. Uses just the right amount of curve. Maybe a touch more than he'd want because it wiggled him just a bit. Oh, massive curve to turn 4. Turn 3 and 4. That works. Slightly different line than I've seen than others through those 2 corners. But will he get the apex? Yes, just the right amount of rotation, not too much. I think he braked a little bit late for turn 7, but I don't think that would cost him too much time. Now turn 9, this is a really important corner. You've got to get it just right, carry those minimum speeds, and then you've got to get it full throttle early because it's long straight. One small mistake out of turn 9. He's gone purple. He's gone purple for the first sector. He obviously likes it, so he's continuing on. If you do make a first mistake in that first sector, you can restart your lap. There is enough time to get that lap time in. So he's obviously quite happy with that first sector. Gets out of turn 10, nice. Small lift for turn 11. Hard to rotate the car. He does it nicely. Doesn't even have to use all the curb when the exit. So he's rotating the car very well. Now we go turn 12. Nice and clean through there. Nicely done. Out of the corner. Again, a very important corner to get a good exit. Up through the gears. Up to about 240, 250 kilometers per hour. Through turn 13. Not really a corner. Easy flat. Now for turn 14. Braking. You gotta be, oh, yes, see, this is more the usual line. One apex, run wide a bit, then for a second apex for a nice clean exit. Now through the penultimate corner. Don't use too much road on the exit. Just about the right amount of road. Now for the last corner. He's still purple for the second sector. The lap doesn't look so bad. Not spectacular, but it looks relatively clean except for turn 7. Let's see what the lap time is. 56.5. That is a good lap by Alif Hamilton. Great lap. He'll be very pleased with that.
That is terrifically quick. You were saying in practice that they haven't quite got the same speed as the Group A, but my word, Alif Hamilton, 3rd place in the overall championship standings, has set a real target. To Bagas in P5, Richard Bradley from the UK in P8. Nakib has set a time just again inside 1:57.
Wow. So I tell you what, Des, this is where the experience shines through. We saw this in Motegi. Alif put it on pole in Motegi as well, but he was like Motegi. He wasn't the fastest driver I'd seen in the leaderboard. Even in the practice sessions, he wasn't quite there. Felt Nakib was a bit quicker. But when it came down for this one lap qualifying, when you got to do it, and when the pressure is on, Alif has done it again. And he has got the experience to do that. So I'm not surprised he did it. But still, to see it get done is really a work of art. Nakib here, who's in shot, he won the last race at Motegi. But he's still quite inexperienced. He's still only been doing this 2 years. 3 years, actually. So you can still see there's room for improvement. Because I certainly felt that 56.4 might have been on if Nakib had really maximized everything. And Alif also, you know, he did a 56.5, but there are a couple small mistakes in that lap. He still could have found another 10 for 2.
Nakib had a near perfect 67-point weekend last weekend at Motegi. He might have to be satisfied though with only 2nd fastest in terms of qualification. So it won't be a perfect weekend, but nonetheless, he is quick. Now then, Tarunya has gone quicker than Alif.
Taruna, wow, he's on pole position. Great job by Arwin Taruna. The Indonesian has been quick in the leaderboard. Every time there's been a leaderboard leading up to a race, we've seen his speed, but he's not been able to translate that pace into the races. Can he do it now to get his first win? That's really great by Taruna. He was very unfortunate in the last race in Motegi. He got kicked. He had an internet problem and wasn't able to finish one of the races. So it's great to see him in pole position. But now it's down to this: who can get the best starts? Nakib, we know, is not a good starter. Alif, yes, he's a good starter. He's in the front row. But can Taruna get the perfect start to lead off the line and through the first couple corners?
Tubagas also in there. I can tell you, Jason Lay Jason Tate put together a really good late lap as well. He's got himself onto P4, second row of the grid. 15 seconds to go ahead of race number 1. This is in qualification order. Race number 2 is a reverse grid. 15 minutes. Taruna on P1 to the right of your screen. Alif Hamilton in the blue. Nakib and Tay, row 2, Moreno and Mo, row 3, Nassi and Tobagas 4. Tobagas has made a good move around the outside, has got himself up one position and then loses out. Fazryan also made it, but it is Taruna who's got off to a silky smooth start. Taruna will lead into corner number 1. Alif just holds off Nakib for P2 and Jason Tay in P3. Tobagas got up to P4, big moment. Going down, Tobagas Naufel has dropped right the way down to P18. He was T-boned on the end of corner number 1.
Yes, good start by Nakib. I just said he'd not had a good start so far in this championship, but he had a good start there and did a good job to keep position 3. Almost took 2 from Alif. And these top 4 with Jason Tay have made a great start for this first sector.
Yeah, Jason Tay, debutant here. He's got Nassi trying to close up behind him. Nassi who had a terrific race number 1 in Buriram. We are on board with Mikko Nassi, the Finn who drives out of Singapore. But Nassi has got a debutant Mo right behind him. Mo in the black and green. Mohammed Nakib, the overall championship leader, as Tay goes a little bit wide. So Nakib knows that there's plenty of time. 15 minutes plus the end of that lap gives you plenty of time just to get your lines absolutely right, Alex Young.
Yes, I'm really pleased to see Taruna up there in front. Like I said, he didn't have a great weekend last weekend in Motegi, but he really has got front running pace, that driver, and I'm really glad to see him lead. Hopefully he can take it to the flag. Further back, Jason Tay, who's new to the series, Singaporean. It's actually Alif Hamilton's teammate in sim racing. Great to see him here showing his experience to get up there as well.
We are staying with Nakib just a moment. Melvin Mo, another debutant. Melvin, another of the Malaysian contingent. But he's under a bit of pressure, Melvin, from Fazryan in the BMW from Indonesia. And then the orange livery of Fadli Rahmat, who will forever stay in my vision for that last catastrophe on the last race when Fadli Rahmat spun out. At the front, though, Taruna under intense pressure from Alif Hamilton and from Nakib. They are 2 drivers you do not want in your rearview mirror.
Yeah, they're very precise drivers, they're very smooth drivers. All 3 of them. You know, we saw in Group A. You know, we have people like Adika Rama and Arjun Maini. You know, they're a bit more dramatic, a bit more exciting because they really hang it out. But Taruna, Alif, and also Nakib, they're very much about keeping the cars within the limits. They rarely go over it. Alif, though, there was a bit of lag with Taruna's car, and Alif had to take avoiding action. So he's compromised his exit. That means Nakib's got a good exit. He's going to have a look on the outside. Will he try and go around the outside at the turn 10 hairpin? Doesn't quite. No, backs out of the move. Lets Alif have it. Although, wait a second, now the inside, now he backs out of it. Half-hearted move, had a thought about looking down the inside, decided to get out of it. Probably the best thing to do, because contact between the 2 drivers this early in the race would have been a shame. They would have dropped either one of them or both of them way back down the field.
So that's a good duel between Alif Hamilton and Mohammed Nakib. It's Taruna, though, who is leading the way. A little bit further down, Kalvinder Singh in the first of the Corvettes got himself up to a decent position. This is P7, Faiz Ryan in the BMW. He's under pressure from Fadli Rahmat. Do enjoy watching Fadli Rahmat. And they are the sandwich. They are sandwiched by Melvin Mo, who's in front of them in the green and black livery. So this is the battle for P6. Faiz Ryan as they come up the start-finish line. Lap 2 completed. Taruna is on lap 3. 11 minutes of the race to go. And the drivers are rather behaving today, Alex Young. What's going wrong?
Oh, don't speak too soon, Des. Whenever a commentator says that, it's a commentator's curse. And then we see all sorts of dramas having happened, and then nightmare for race control. Further back, let's have a look at that Corvette. Actually, Ryan's, let's stay here actually. Ryan's looking like he's all over the back of Mo now. Melvin Mo, he's also a new driver to this championship, although he's a very experienced racer, well known within the region, GT driver, very quick GT driver, and one of the few race car drivers that makes the transition to sim racing look effortless.
He's just got to make sure his lines are nice and clean and make sure he doesn't make any mistakes. If he doesn't make any mistakes, it's almost impossible for Fires Ryan to get past him. But it's BMW 1 through 8. The Mercedes of Su from Taiwan in P9. The Corvette of Kelvinder Singh in P10. 7 is Ryan. He's in the white. Fadli Rakhmat behind them. You've got Su in the blue. And Singh, there's Kelvinder Singh. First of him ahead of Scotty Lee in the yellow livery. Well done for Kelvinder. We haven't seen too many Corvettes. In fact, he's won last race and won this race. So an interesting choice for the Corvette for Kelvinder Singh.
Yeah, so the balanced performance means that all the GT3 cars are roughly supposed to have the same performance levels, but generally the sim drivers tend to prefer the BMW. They feel it's more consistent across all the tracks. Interestingly enough, the real race car drivers like Eduardo Mortara and Richard Lyons, real life race car drivers, because these are all real race car drivers. But the real life guys, they prefer the Mercs. Jan Erleche, Arjun Maini, although Maini actually for this race has switched back to the BMW.
Okay, we are now into lap number 4. Kelvinder Singh, we are on board with him as they go through. That's Tay in 4, Nasi in 5, Mo in 6, Fadli Rakhmat in the orange in 7, Faz Ryan in 8. Little bit of rubber left on the track. Su in 9, Kelvinder Singh in the centre of your shot under pressure from the yellow livery of Hong Kong Scotty Lee. But this is the race leader, P2 for Alif Hamilton. Tarunya in front of them. Doesn't look like he's made any mistake whatsoever in this race so far, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing what I always hoped we'd see him do so far in this championship, which is just lay down these lap times and just be super consistent. We know he's quick, we know he's been consistent, but in some of the races, and I think of Shanghai and I think of Buriram, he didn't quite race as well as I thought he could have, and wasn't able to get the positions. So remember those last lap mistakes when he was right in the heat of the battle for the podium positions. But now he's out in front, and I tell you what, driving in the front is very tricky. The pressure is quite different. It's a lot easier to make mistakes. Right now, Taruna is doing a great job.
Taruna had a 25-point weekend in race number 1 in Buriram, and 0 point last weekend at Motegi, so he may want to scrap that. This is the real Taruna. This is what we know him to very, very capable of. Just needs to make sure that with all the pressure coming from Alif and Nakib behind him, that he just keeps on going very nicely. We are beyond the halfway mark, and Tarunya has led from the start. He was on pole and he's led from the very, very first corner, Alex Young.
Yeah, he has. And another thing I like about this series is really have seen some of the best drivers from Asia Pacific, and no one country is dominating. We've seen Singapore, Indonesia win, Malaysia win, Australia. Okay, we haven't seen. Well, no, we did. We saw Brody Steen win in the last race. So it's a really good balance, lot of good talent from around the region, and it's nice to have this sort of platform where we can really show the quality of the driving. Because if you follow any motorsports, you get to see how the drivers can hit their markers and what they use in the racecraft and stuff, whether they're any good. You sometimes see some more exciting races, maybe the quality of the driving is not quite there, the racecraft is not quite there. But what we've seen so far is the racecraft has been very good. We just need to make sure we keep them at tracks that allow good overtaking and good racing.
I was going to say, Taruna's last lap was marked as invalid, which suggests that he's gone off the extremities in that particular lap. Now, you're allowing the drivers 50 penalty points in the game here, yeah. So it's not certain that you won't be kicked out of the race. You've just got to be careful and stick close as you possibly can to the racing line.
Yeah, did you see that? That was Alif probing Taruna. He had a look at him under braking. He wasn't close enough to try a real move, but he had a look, and Taruna reacted in the braking zone. So that means Taruna's looking in his mirrors. That's going to tell Alif a lot. Alif will be looking at that. He said, oh, I had a look there, and Taruna reacted. So he's like, okay, so now I'm inside his head. So Alif will know this. The experienced drivers, you have to pay attention to these things when you're racing someone, because it sometimes comes when you're at the same level. Oh, contact!
Nakib on the back of Alif Hamilton. Nakib has got through into P2, and that is a real respite for Tarunya, because he can take a lead of best part of 2 seconds from that incident, and they'll go over the start-finish line. Tarunya from Nakib from Alif. Race control, where are you?
Well, if I was Nakib, I'd give that position back, because it looked like that he tagged Alif, and it wasn't anything Alif's fault. It wasn't his fault. Alif was, we just talking about, was looking at the Tarun, and that's the problem about being in the meat in the sandwich, is that sometimes you have to worry about the guy behind. But very little Alif could have done there. That corner invites people to stick the nose in. We've seen that a lot this weekend so far. And there's always contact. So drivers have to sometimes resist putting your nose in, because you really need to make sure you're properly alongside if you're going to make the move. If you're only half-hearted, you just end up with contact. And this guy either spins or you get a penalty for causing an avoidable accident. So, Nakib, if you're listening, I would give that position back to Alif, because you've gained it unfairly.
A little bit further down, we focus justifiably on the front three. Nassi has got himself up into P4, just coming round the corner there. Nassi has got himself ahead of Melvin Moe and Fadli Rahmat. Jason Tay, who had started off really well and was in P4, has lost 3 places on that last lap. But Arwin Taruna from Indonesia, he's the main beneficiary of that tagging from Alif Hamilton onto the tail end of Nakib.
Back to this fight in the back. It's been brewing for a while. Rahmat's been looking at Melvin Moe, and Jason Tay's also dropped back as well. So Jason struggling with a bit of pace, promoted Nassi up to 4th. Oh, Rahmat's looking down the inside. He's just on track. That is still within track limits. He was touching the curb, so that would have been a good move if he had pulled it off. As it is, Melvin holds on to that position 5 at the moment.
This is Fadli Rahmat. Let's go for a young fella. He's bringing a little bit of excitement and proving to be a problem for Melvin Moe. Melvin has to hold on to the line. Fadli all over the back of his rear wheels. Fadli has a look on the inside. That time he's got the inside line. Has he got the momentum as they come into the start-finish straight? It'll be Fadli Rahmat who's just got the better, or has he? Moe and Rahmat are side by side as they come down the long straight, the start-finish straight. This is the battle for P5. Fadli Rahmat, can he leave the braking late enough? Yes, he can. Fadli, in perfect Fadli fashion, moves into P5.
And that's now allowed Jason Tay to come back into the battle. Right onto the boot lid of Melvin Moe. Melvin has to just try and refocus here and try and focus on getting that position back and not letting Jason Tay, who's right behind him, through.
Welcome to eRacing Grand Prix Global Edition, Melvin Moe. This is some of the action that Fadli Rahmat has been producing throughout the tournament. Perhaps hasn't got the points that maybe he deserves, although he still is 9th in the overall championship standings. And now Fadli, now he's got past Melvin. Looks like he's just got a little bit of air between him and the debutant Melvin Moe. Back with here Jason Tay. A lot of rubber left as Melvin tries to leave the braking too late. Left it far too late, and my word, put under pressure. Melvin Moe looks like he has really lost his composure there, Melvin, because that was far too late to leave the braking.
Yeah, Melvin's got to think about the final. He has to think about getting the points for the final. That's just dropped him back from 6th to 8th position, you know, where you're really on the limits of making the top 10. So you need to settle down because, oh, look, Luis Moreno's behind him. The very fast Philippine driver is right behind him. He's got his hands full now.
Yeah, Luis Moreno is another who's had a consistent season, a 25-point weekend in Buram, a 33-point weekend last week. He's made the finals in the previous 2 editions, so Lewis in P9 isn't a man you want to mess around with. This is the man in P5, Fadli Rahmat. At the front, it's still Tarunya Nakib, who hasn't given up that position for Hamilton. Alif Hamilton goes on the inside. Nakib, does he block him off? The answer is not quite. Oh yes, there's more contact there. Nakib defends his line and hasn't been hearing or listening to your advice, Alex Young.
Well, actually, I think we missed that action because I glanced down about 10 seconds ago and I saw Alif was in front of Nakib. So I'm wondering if Nakib did let Hamilton through and then it's just decided to take that position back now. So we will have to look at it after the race. But anyway, this is the excitement right now, and let's see what happens. Hamilton now out of turn 9. This is a corner where if you get a good exit, you can slipstream. But I have to say, Nakib got a really good exit out of that corner. I'm not sure if Hamilton is close enough. He's in the slipstream now. Oh, he's definitely close enough. Nakib covers the inside. Oh, good move. Can he stop the car in time? Hamilton just about stops the car, but no, Nakib's able to get back under him and actually pull out a bit of a gap. Nice try, though. Just braked a bit too late. Alif just braked just a tiny bit too late, and that cost him the position.
This is the final lap. Nakib, that was soul destroying for Alif as he saw Nakib go on the inside. It will be the final lap. Tarunya will come and take the victory. Alif has got maybe one last opportunity to try to get close to Najib. They go through a little kink in the road and into a sharp left-hander. Hard on the brakes. Nakib, double winner last weekend, may well have to be satisfied with runner-up today, because Tarunya it is who is leading coming into the final couple of corners. It's Tarunya who has led from the very start. Owen Tarunya was on pole, hit the first corner first, wins the race ahead of Mohamed Nakib, the championship leader, and Alif Hamilton in third. Nasi from Singapore in fourth. Fadli Rakhmat from Tay, who got the better of Taiwan Su for P6. Melvin Moe dropping to 8. Moreno picks up points for 9. And Hong Kong Scotty Young in 10th, with Tabagos recovering into P11.
Wow, what a great race that was. I mean, well, it was a slow burn, I have to say. Not as exciting as we saw in Group A, but it was still nice to watch. Nice, great first win for Tarunya. Really happy for the Indonesian driver.
Tarunya with maximum points, 25. Add the 5 points he'll pick up for being fastest qualifier. That's a 30-point race for Owen Tarunya of Indonesia. Nakib for Malaysia second. Ali for Nasi, Singapore third and fourth. Rakhmat of Indonesia in fifth. And Jason Tay, good racing for Singapore, 3 out of the first 6. And again, I say this every time, Alex, you've just got to change your mentality for race number 2.
Absolutely. Now it's a reverse grid race. Now, if you finish in the top 3 or 4, definitely the top 5 positions, you think, okay, well, I can maybe take some risks to get to the front because I know I've made the championship. But if you're finishing like 5 to 10 in the race 1, you know you have to get points. You have to get points if you want to try and squeeze through the final. And also the guys who didn't finish well in race 1, maybe they're an incident and they're right at the back, now they start at the front. So there's a chance to get 15, 12, 13 points. If you can do that, that'll be enough to get through to the final. So, as we saw in Group A, the reverse grid race, the first few laps, first few corners were quite fiery indeed. And I think we're going to see the same again here for Group B.
All set. Inarong on pole alongside Rich Bradley. This should be fun. Tarunya, who won race 1, starts here on P18 alongside Nakib. We are underway. Inarong in the blue. Is he able to hold on? Now Richard Bradley is going backwards. Kelvinder Singh has got himself up into P3. Inarong is able to hold on. Kelvinder Singh has got himself into P3. Terrific start from Singh. Faz Ryan leads from Inarong, from Kelvinder, from Bradley, from Dominic Ang and Melvin Moe. As expected, a little bit of contact as those at the back tried to make a little bit of time. Mohamed Nakib, time is his friend. He just stays right out of trouble at the very start. Alex Young with Fadli Rakhmat. Oh no, Dominic Ang spins out. Ang spins, and there is real contact on corner number 3.
Richard Bradley, the European Le Mans driver, has had a good start. He's in position 2. He has swapped from the Audi to BMW for this weekend. So it's all very good. Melvin Moe has had a great start as well. He's up to P3.
Inarong started on pole. He's down in P5 under pressure from the yellow livery of Scotty Lee. Scotty Lee just tucks in behind them at the end of the long straight. That's a good move a little bit further down. We are looking backwards from Scott Lee. He's got Moreno in the black, Inarong in the blue right the way alongside him. You've got 3 cars in identical numbers and liveries. Luckily the graphics can sort out which is which. This is Inarong, currently in P7. Luis Moreno in his sights. Moreno forced wide. Inarong slides off and out of contention.
Yeah, it's such a shame. Went off by himself. I don't think there was any contact there. So anyway, back up front, we got Zhu in 4th position in the Mercedes. Nice to see another make-up there. Yes, good first lap for him.
Kelvin de Singh in the Corvette is going backwards, backwards, backwards. Sue in the Merc is currently in P4. I can tell you that Tarunya's got himself nicely up into P9. Nakib really is taking his time. He's currently 10 seconds adrift in P17. Now there's caution and there's caution.
We talked about this, didn't we, in Motegi, didn't we? Because Nakib was very careful in the first few laps. And maybe this is, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is his experience. But I tell you what, we saw Motegi, he was very careful, but he still came through to finish P, was it second or third or something?
He got the double win.
Oh, it was a double win, was it? Oh, anyway, so it is possible to do it. It's better to be careful in the beginning. I guess I'm talking as an ex-race car driver. We know that sometimes your race is done if you don't push in the first lap, so you often take big risks. But that often also means you end up in the wall. So we saw Nakib do it in Motegi. Can he do it today? Well,
he's only got 12 minutes to begin to make any kind of a move, and it's only 10 seconds, so it's not beyond the realms of fantasy. But it is a long way away. At the front, though, Faiz Ryan leads from Bradley. Melvin Moe in third. We're on board with Sue. Now then, this is Alif Hamilton, who's quietly got himself up into P7. Takes a completely different line, Hamilton. He's got Haziq in his sights. Can't quite get around the outside. But Amir Haziq loses out that battle of wills with Alif Hamilton.
Nicely done. Alif just went round the outside because he knows he has the inside for the next lap. Haziq just has to back out of that. Amir, also known as Ammo, obviously now has to deal with Luis Moreno on his back.
Again, Moreno is very, very consistent. He picks up middle points right the way throughout, ensures he gets into the final, and invariably picks up double-digit points in the finals as well. Moreno currently in P8, and he's dragging along Taruna, who won race number 1 in P9. In fact, at the back of this car, a group of 4 cars, there is Taruna in the white. You got Hamilton, Haziq, Moreno, and Taruna. We are on lap 2. Big gap. Nakib has made up 1 place.
Oh, who's that?
Ooh, that
Richard
was
Bradley.
Taruna.
No, Richard Bradley spun.
Richard Bradley, of course it was Richard Bradley.
European Le Mans driver. He was in second position. Such a shame. I think he was by himself. Melvin was obviously challenging him. That's put Melvin up at the front. Good job for the young Malaysian.
Faiz Ryan in P1, Melvin Moe in P2. Scotty Lee for Hong Kong in P3. Now, Scotty Lee hasn't really put the points on the board, but perhaps his performance isn't merited. Su for Taiwan in P4. He'll be looking to get up into a podium position, but Alif Hamilton comes on the inside of Su and glides serenely through into P4. Does Alif Hamilton? Su has to give way. He might have the inside line, which he does. Good response, though, from Su, and Alif decides this time, I'll let you through.
But I tell you what, this long straight now. Let's go to onboard and see what it's like from Alif's car. Yeah, he's got the move done. He's got a good exit out of turn 9, despite not being able to see the corner. He'll cover the inside now. Make sure that Sue doesn't think about. Oh, did they have contact? Yes, he does. He tries a last-minute move. There's contact between the two of them. Now Alif has the inside for the next corner. Okay, that move's done now.
And Sue that time can't make it through. Moreno currently in P9, slightly forced wide by Amo Haziq. Taruna's got himself up to P8. Tobagas 9. Duque on debut in 10. Fadli Rakhmat has recovered from that horror moment. Up into P11. Fadli Rakhmat always has a horror moment.
He does. Back, the gap between Luis Moreno. Oh, yeah, serious. Down the inside.
So Moreno in 6. That's Taruna. Winner of the first race in 7. Now then, Melvin Moe had a big moment there. There is Melvin under intense pressure. Loses a position there. Taruna is forced wide. Taruna picked off by Moe. Taruna in 7. This is Moreno in 5. Taruna in the white with the blue roof is currently in P7. As they go through, Faiz Ryan leads quite some distance. 3.5 seconds from Scotty Lee. Wow.
Taruna taking his time. He knows he has the pace. He doesn't want to do anything silly and end up having a collision and dropping back again. He has enough time. 8 minutes to go, so plenty of time to get up into the top 4 or 5, I feel. Oh, is he going to go down the inside? No, that's not a spot you want to overtake. Tracking the back of Melvin right now. Now for turn 7. Oh, Yeah, had to think about it, decides not to. Now this is the next corner, turn 8. Turn 9 is the key corner. You got to get it just right because it leads onto the back straight. See Taruna. Whoa, looking down the inside. Melvin takes a wide line. You can go side by side there as they come out of that last corner.
Has he got enough? Was he in the slipstream? Who's brave enough to leave the braking till latest? We've seen so many leave the braking too late that they go through this corner. Melvin Moe loses on the inside. Can he hold on? Tarunya. Moe has a look on the inside. Melvin is just forced away. Great move from Arwin Tarunya. Is he able to hold on? Melvin Moe has another look. Tarunya, is he in the right position? Moe on the inside. Contact once again, battling superbly. Melvin Moe lost his position, won it back, and now look at this. Tarunya under pressure from Moreno as well.
Wow. So that Tarunya did a really good job to stop the car for turn 10. I thought he braked way too late and wasn't going to make it, but just made it through in time.
So we are just beyond the halfway moment. Alex Young, bottom of screen. Des Corkill here, talking you through a really, really good race. Tarunya looking to try to make it a double. This is a reverse grid race. 15 minutes duration, then on the lap that you complete, 15 points available for the winner. At the moment, it's Faiz Ryan, who we're not really focusing on because his lead is growing by the lap. But Tarunya makes another move there on Melvin Moe. And Tarunya, a little bit of contact there. Moreno is the man who loses out. Tarunya and Melvin, for the second straight lap, they work on it. Tarunya through the inside. Melvin Moe this time can't get around the outside, and it's taken him 10 kilometers to do it, but eventually Tarunya gets ahead of Melvin Moe.
Wow, what a great scrap that was. Three-way scrap, and unfortunately Moreno lost out and spun in the turn 1, and that's him done. I think Moreno might not make the final because I don't think he had enough points in race 1, and he's right at the back now. But Tarunya, great, he's up to 5th position. And further down, can he get into the top 3? I have to say, let's look at the front now. Alif Hamilton is up to 2nd position.
Alif up to 2nd, Scotty Lee in 3rd place. Su from Taiwan in 4th. Nakib, I can tell you, has just paced himself up nicely into a top 11 place, and he's got the best part of 6 minutes to get himself into the points. But Alif Hamilton will look upon this as an opportunity to pick up quite a few points on the championship leader, Mohamed Nakib. He was edged out of 2nd place by Nakib in the previous race, Alif Hamilton, so can't really afford to make many more mistakes. And it's not Scotty Lee behind him he'll be worried about, it's the man in front of him, Faz Ryan, who will be really chasing.
Is there enough time? 5 minutes to go. You know what? His last lap was a 58.2. Ryan's last lap was a 58.7. And there's a 1.5 second gap between the two. Yes, there is enough time for Alif to close that gap for the lead. However, will he be able to overtake? Getting up to the driver in front is one thing. Managing the overtake is quite another thing indeed.
Alif Hamilton, what is the gap? Officially, it's just outside 2 seconds, and he was lapping half a second quicker. But credit to Faiz Ryan. He's just been like a train on tracks. Fadli Rakhmat has got himself back up into P7, and look who he's on the tail end of, Melvin Moe. Well, Melvin has learned all about eRacing Grand Prix and how competitive it is. Having lost that battle to Tarunya, suddenly he finds the uber competitive Fadli Rakhmat right on his tail, and Fadli doesn't take no for an answer, Alex Young.
Absolutely, he finished 3rd in Motegi. Real breakthrough result, I think, for the young Indonesian. So it gives him a chance, really. I think that'd done his confidence a world of good. Really, let's see. He has the pace to be at the front. He hasn't shown so much this weekend so far. But tell you what, there's still a final to go. And when the final happens, it resets. Everything is just a reset again. And we can't discount Rashman.
And there's still possibly another 3 laps to go here. Fadli looks on the inside. Melvin can't hold him off, or can he? Yes, he can. Melvin will know that he's been in a scrap. Fadli looks on the inside in the orange livery. Again, Melvin in the black, and Green is able to hold him off. That's good, safe driving from Melvin Moe. Able to see off temporarily, at least, the challenge of Fadli BMW's dominating. Sue's dropped down to 5th. Tarunya gets up into P4. Winner of race number 1, Tarunya in the big points again in race number 2, Alex.
Nice move around the outside. Really sweet move. Very tricky move to do, because when you go around the outside, there's a lot of dirt on that outside line. If you go just an inch off it, you pick up that dirt and you just slide wide. So you have to really thread the eye of the needle to make it work, and Tarunya did a great job there to take P4.
So they will complete this lap, and there will be one more lap after this. So 2 full laps to go. Little bit further down, Alif Hamilton into the lead.
Wow, great race. Nakib did it the race before with the double win. Will Alif do it today as well? It certainly looks like it's at the moment.
So Alif just bided his time. Faiz Ryan had looked to be pretty secure. The lead, when we last looked, and the reason I'm sure the director cut away was because the lead was 2 seconds. So either there's a mistake or Alif was just biding his time.
Yes, he was. Good move there. Looks like he's pulling away the gap right now. You know, he's driving superbly at the moment, Alif is, and he's just pushing away. So then the next question is, can Tarunya close the gap to Scotty Lee? Scotty Lee looks a little bit too far away in P3. With half a lap. Well, no, actually,
it's a lap and a half, isn't it?
A lap and a half to go.
Yeah. It's about a second and a half he's got to make up. Tarunya, last lap, non-last lap set. Scotty Lee is lapping the high 158, so he's not lapping well. Fadley on the inside of Melvin Moe. Let's resume the antagonism between Melvin and Fadley. Fadley goes on the outside. Contact once again. I'd love to be the body repair worker on Melvin Moe's car, because it'll be battered black and blue and green. The colours it is. On the inside, Fadley is taken out by Tobagas. Tobagas taking advantage of the distraction. He moves into the slipstream of Melvin Moe.
Wow, that's great for Melvin, because the 2 Indonesians are going to fight behind. And if Melvin can just put his head down and put a small gap. Oh, but Melvin runs wide. Allows Tobagas through. Oh, small mistake by the Malaysian. Now the Indonesians are all over him as they go through the penultimate corner on this lap.
But Tobagas, can he get there? Melvin Moe has had to defend all the way through for the last 3.5 laps. And as they come into the start-finish line, there will be another lap after this. Alif Hamilton is on the last lap, lap number 8. We are on board with Fadli Rakhmat. That's Tobagas ahead of him. Tobagas goes around Melvin Moe. Can he hold on? The answer is yes. Melvin braked too early, and that's a pressurized mistake by Melvin Moe.
Great move there by Tobagas. Really good move. But I tell you what, still all to play for. Rakhmat is now all over the back of Moe.
Brilliant racing. Melvin Moe, he'll sleep well tonight, although he's probably got the final to come. He's accumulated probably enough points, but it's Tobagas who leads Melvin. Tobagas goes wide. Melvin looks on the inside. Hasn't quite got the pace. Is very aware of Fadli Rakhmat trying to go around the outside of him. And behind Fadli, you've got Amo Fazik has joined in the fun as well. Alif is still leading. This is the battle for P3, where Tarunya has indeed closed on the back of Scotty Lee, exactly as you predicted, Alex Young.
Yes, but he's not close enough at the moment. And let's look a bit further back now. Oh, still all to play for P6. Tobagas is not moving away here, and Rakhmat still looking all over the back of Moe.
We need a split screen on this one, because Tobagas still leads in P5. At P2, Scotty Lee, yeah. Oh, wow, something's happened. What has happened?
Tarunya, where's he gone?
Tarunya has gone. Tarunya has disappeared off the screen. Sue is back in 4, Tobagas 5, Melvin Moe 6, Fadli Rakhmat in P7. Fadli desperate to get P6, but Tarunya, whoa, that's a nightmare for him. Fadli on the inside. Melvin Moe has the inside line. Fadli will have another little look. It is the final lap of final lap scrap. Melvin Moe in the black and green in 6. And look at that. Amo Hazik comes through. Contact on Fadli. Amo spins out. Fadli another last corner catastrophe. Alif wins it. Faiz Ryan 2nd. Scotty Lee 3rd. Sue 4th. Tobagas 5th. Melvin Moe 6th. Kelvin De Singh 7th. Nakib up to 8th. Jason Tay 9th. Moreno in 10th.
Wow, all the excitement. That was a slow burner, wasn't that, Des? But it certainly got very exciting towards the end. But take your hats off to Alif Hamilton.
So Tarunya is down there as a DNF. Really wonder what happened for him, unless he was kicked out I'm not sure. We'll just have a look at the points tallying up. You're allowing them 50 penalty points, but Alif takes the win from Faiz Ryan. Scotty Lee, best result for the Hong Kong racer in P3. And look at that, the championship leader, Nakib, decides, I'll just pick up the 3 points for 8th. Hi, good evening and a very warm welcome back to eRacing Southeast Asia Global Edition. We have got the final coming up of round 3 of a 6-race championship or a 6-round championship series that we've put together. And we have got some terrific racing coming for you. Right, let's focus on this race itself, and the racers have got best part of 4.5 minutes left worth of practice. They've all seen this circuit, they've all seen this track. Yeah. How do you see this afternoon going? Who obviously the big favourites will be Alif and Nakib, the usual big names.
Well, funnily enough, not as many sim drivers as I realise have actually seen this track. Quite a few of the real life races, like Erleshay's raced here, Richard Bradley and also Richard Lyons have all raced here in Le Mans and GT cars and stuff. But not all the sim drivers have raced here, so it was new for quite a few of them. But yeah, it's a technical track, a lot of good selection of corners, got fast sweeping corners, very slow corners. So you know you can't have any weaknesses as a driver, and you got to make sure you are complete to try and set the lap time. This man in vision right now, Arwin Taruna, he had a disaster reverse race we just watched about half an hour ago, but his first race, he dominated the first race against some very good competition. We've seen him be quick before, we've seen him in fights for wins right up to the last lap, but it just hasn't quite panned out for him. But he did a really good job in race 1. Oh, here he is trying to get to the pit lane. They are practicing pit stops, you have to do a pit stop. So that didn't go so well for him. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. Another good driver, which I enjoyed watching, another Indonesian, Tobagos. He managed to squeak into the final at the expense of Ratchat. Ratchat spun at the last corner of the reverse grid race, and that cost him a position in the final, but allowed Tobagos in. He's been quick at times as well, although not quite sure if he's quite got the pace to run right at the front. And then look a bit further down, Arjun Maini. He's swapped cars. He used to be in the Mercedes car. He's now in a BMW. He's Formula 2 driver for the last 2 years. He was going to do European Le Mans this year, which is arguably the most competitive series in the world when you get back to the real life racing. So he's doing European Le Mans. So is Richard Bradley, who didn't make the final, unfortunately. So Arjun, we've seen he's got front running pace, especially in Motegi. He was very, very quick, but he just didn't work out for him in the races. He swapped to the BMW this weekend. I don't think he's as quick, though. I think he was better suited for the Mercedes because he hasn't been quite as quick so far today.
You alluded to it just there, though. This is a very different race, the final. It's a one-off race. There's no reverse grid. It's a longer race as well, 25 laps. And so to make it even closer to real life, there is the pit stop. We saw on round number 1, Mikko Nasi was super cute in his use of the pit stop rules and didn't change tyres. Now they have to change tyres, so the pit stop, the care of the tyres becomes really, really important. If you're going to succeed, you've got to have proper racecraft.
Yeah, and also some of the drivers are talking about only changing one axle. You can't. We wrote in the regulations that you have to come to pit stops and you have to change tyres, but we didn't specify how many tyres. So some of these drivers have been tricky and saying they might just change the front axle or the rear axle. Saves you a couple seconds, and if it doesn't hurt your lap time too much, why not?
But it must be recognised by the AI. That's the big thing in your choice there.
Yes. When Nasi won that race, we didn't allow for that because we weren't sure the AI could pick it up. But now we've seen a few races, the AI does pick it up, and we've clarified that you have to change tyres, at least one.
We're just looking at the practice now into the final minute or so. Arwin Taruna has got the fastest lap time in practice once again. He had a terrific race, number 1. He really is a driver to worry about. Mohammed Nakib, what kind of Nakib? So Nakib's fastest is second fastest at the moment, 1:56.989. Anything inside 1:57 at Dubai is pretty rapid.
Yeah, it is, definitely is. Further back, Jaka Siswoyo, he only joined us in the last race, and he's proven to be very, very quick, astoundingly quick. let's see if he can just manage in the race. The race pace hasn't been as good. He did get pole position in Group A, so I think he got pole position. So yes, very, very quick driver indeed. Further back, Brody Steen in the Porsche. He won his first reverse grid race. It was nice to see him there. The Australian did a great job in the reverse grid race. Outstanding start, didn't he, in Group A? And it was nice to see him take his first win.
No time, though, at the moment for Alif Hamilton. He is out on the track, but he hasn't set a fastest time in practice. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with the sim and the connectivity with Alif, because after the first... he's qualified with the most points for today, and he'll be looking to capitalise on that to, if not reduce, maybe get in the lead of Nakib at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, I think, he's there looking, just doing the rough math in my head. I think he's leading the championship right now, but it's pretty close between him and Nakib. Obviously, Berwin is not there at the moment. But for the win today, other than those two, other than Alif and Nakib, you have to say Taruna's got a chance of winning. He's definitely got the pace there. So is Swisoyo. That's about it, really. Another guy we haven't talked about, actually, Andika Rama. He was very quick as well. And when he's on fire, he's really very quick. He won race 1 in Group A. And here he is. And don't forget, he was leading Motegi when he spun out the lead. So we know he can do it. Let's follow him now as we watch and start qualifying.
This is the qualification lap. Alex Young will take us round a flying lap with Andika Rama of the Dubai Autodrome.
So here he is coming out the last corner. You can see he goes very wide at the entrance to the last corner because he wants to set himself out for a very good exit out that last corner. It's long, straight. Now he's coming down into turn 1. Hard to pick your braking spots. You've got to carry the speed through turn 1 because although it looks tight on paper, it's not that tight. I would call this a medium speed corner, but it's second gear. Got to use all the curb at turn 2. You can see him run through the curb there. Now flat through turn 3. And as it tightens up for turn 4 here, you just lift slightly. Maybe try and take it flat certainly through this bit 5, and then brake for 6 here. You always run out of room here. He's done that just right. Oh no, he hasn't. He's overdone it, so he's restarting his lap. Let's follow someone else then, shall we? See who's out there. Let's follow Swisoyo. He's coming out for his lap now. He's a bit further down the lap. He's already in the second half of the sector 2. He's fastest in sector 1, 49.5. So we are now coming down. This is turn 12, this hairpin. As we come to the end of sector 2. Sector 2 is finishing now on this long drag down through to turns 13 up to turn 14. Again, 2 purple sectors by Swisoyo. This looks very good. He's straightened as the line as possible as he goes right over the curb. Turn 14 here. Mounts the curb. Looks like he carries. That looks pretty good, actually. A bit of a wiggle on the exit will cost him some time. On the race room platform, any wiggles on the exit does cost you some lap time. Out of the penultimate corner. Now for the last corner. Carries nice speed. Reaches the apex. Full throttle. Use all the road and a bit. And that should be good enough for P2 at the moment. Taruna, 56.3. That's a pole lap and a half.
That is a real lap. Anything inside 157 is seriously rapid. Thanks to Alex Young for taking us through that flying app. He's the architect of this game. Let's see if Alif Hamilton is able to respond to that. He's got sector 1. He was fastest on sector 1, but he lost just a smidgen of time on sector 2. But he's close enough here to be in consideration for pole position, Alex.
Definitely. He was really nice through turn 14. I liked what he did through there. If he can just nail the exit out this last corner. Oh, yeah, looks good. This will be good enough for pole, perhaps. Certainly in the front row. Pole position. Well done. 56.3. That's the fastest line. That's the fastest lap we've seen all day today, Des.
So Alif Hamilton has responded to the challenge laid down by Nakib and Taruna and Swisoyo. Miko Nasi also in P5 and Tobagas there as well. Only 30 seconds left. I don't see anybody out on the track as well. We've got the official race room scoring just available for both of us so we can see how people are going. Right, Miko Nasi maybe having a look here. He won't have a time to finish his final lap. In fact, he's given it up. Miko Nasi, 5th place overall. Alistair Young is... Where did your boy come? Where did Alistair come?
Let's see how Melvin does. He hasn't finished his lap. He's got just enough time. 6 seconds. Can he cross the line before the checkers flag?
Go, Alistair.
Oh, Melvin doesn't got a lap.
He runs out of time.
He starts at the back.
Oh, my word.
Oh, wow. Okay, good job for Alif Hamilton with our win in second position. Wow, so at the moment, Alif is winning the championship and he starts on pole position. Is this the moment he takes this championship by the scruff of his neck? This is a perfect opportunity for him to really consolidate his lead. Can he do it? He needs to get a good start. There's a long drag down to turn 1. So even though you're in pole position, if you don't get a good start, you'll definitely get overtaken. It's almost better to be in the second row here because it's such a long drag from the start line to turn 1.
A reminder, it is a 25-minute race. And the lap, when it's finished, we are just about under starter's orders. Alif Hamilton in the blue is in P1. Alongside Hamilton, you've got Arwin Taruna. Mohamed Nakib was the championship leader. He is on the second row of the grid with Jaya Sissoko. Once we get the green lights on, we are away. A great start at the back from Alistair Young as he tries to come out of the slipstream. But Hamilton leads up the hill. Is he able to hold on? Nobody's gone past him. Look at that. Brady having a big go as well. But it'll be Alif Hamilton who leads from Taruna and Nakib into the first corner, and he was just holding on for all he was worth. But Hamilton, perfect start from him.
Indeed. Very good start. The drivers file through. Well, so far, nice and clean. These drivers, you know, they're top of the game. No silly mistakes, no accidents. Everyone has filed through the first sector without any mistakes so far.
It is all very clean behind them as well. A little bit further down, Nasi went up from 5 to 4. That was Nasi in the white and green, just going through. Centre of your shot now. Behind him, you've got Siswoyo. Behind them, Tubagus and Andika Rama, the Indonesians, 5, 6 and 7, all very useful. Nakib in the white livery has a look on the inside of Taruna. Taruna closed the door with the stars on the front of his livery, but it's Alif Hamilton in blue 101 that leads the way as they come into the second half of this opening lap. Still a long, long way to go.
Yeah, so Nakib, I thought for a second he's going to have a look down the inside, but no, better to focus on getting a good exit, because even if he tried to make a move there, he'd have really ruined his exit out of that corner, and that could have made both those cars very vulnerable to the cars behind. So sometimes you have to be a bit smart about when you want to overtake, because you also want to overtake without losing time. And actually, Nakib does a very good job of that. You've seen him do that in Motegi a few times. So, you know, while Alif has the first position at the moment, and we know he has the pace to run away, the two cars behind him definitely have the pace to stay with him.
A little bit further down in P7, Kalen Chin has got himself a Mandika, Tadashi in 7, Brady from Philippines in the first of the Porsches in 8th, Arjun Maini 11th, Melvin Moe 12th, and Brody Steen in 13th place. There's only one Mercedes, that's the Taiwanese driver Su, he's in 15th, but we are just sticking with this front group for now. Alif Hamilton, well, he's leading a bit of a procession in a very clean race so far, Alex.
That's a very clean race indeed. We go a bit further back, let's have a look at the middle of the pack. Arjun Maini is having a good battle there with Darryl Grady, middle of the pack, trying to get their way through. Will he have a look down the inside? No, he doesn't. Everyone's been very strategic so far. I haven't seen any crazy lunges or moves like we have seen in the group stages. So drivers know that there's a pit stop still to come. Tyre wear could be an issue, so everyone's been a bit cagey over these first couple of laps.
Well, time to introduce a thunderstorm into the middle of a race, Alex. That's what I reckon. But at the moment, it is Arjun Maini. You can see him there. We're right behind Melvin Moe. He's being aggressive around the outside of Arjun Maini. Now, Maini, how brake can he leave his laking? Melvin, very, very good maneuver around the outside of Arjun. Can Arjun Maini come through on the inside? The answer is no. And Melvin Moe, in his first start at eRacing Grand Prix of this series anyway, is up into P11.
And these are both real-life drivers. Both, well, Melvin's a GT driver from around the region, very quick GT driver. Arjun Maini, obviously the Formula 2 driver, doing a good job at this scrap right now. But you know, the Arjun in the BMW, I still think I prefer him in the Merc, because he looks quicker in the Merc. But, well, I thought Melvin's going to leave a bit of space. No, he doesn't. He closes it at the first apex. Leaves no space for Arjun to make a move.
Brody Steen went very wide in the Porsche and is under real pressure behind them. Brody Steen had an outstanding start in the last race that enabled him to go from start to finish to win the race, but at the moment, leading this race, it's Alif Hamilton from Tarunia as they come through at the end of lap 1. Tadashi takes a different line. Brady in the Porsche follows him, but it's Hamilton, Taruna, Nakib, Nasi, Sizwoyo, Tobagas, Chin, and Andika Rama, which is a very, very good first 8, and Alif Hamilton is way, way better, the best of all of those 8.
So this is setting up quite nicely so far. Just a quick, another note, just wish Perwin was here. Perwin would be great to add to this mix. But nonetheless, let's focus on this battle right now. Alif pulling out a small gap here over Taruna. Be interesting to see if Taruna can claw that back. Taruna's, been looking very quick all day. Exits onto the onto the back straight. All the cars coming now.
Alif, a 1:56.680 last lap, lap number 2. That is very rapid. That is as quick as qualifying time. It means that though there will be some wear on the tyres. Not that he's involved in too much racing. Everybody's looking after the tyres. But how is this track for tyre degradation? How do they need to worry about it?
Not too bad. In real life, this track is really bad. But in sim so far, it's not been as bad as I thought it would. Oof, Taruna with an interesting line out of that turn 12. It's not been too bad. So I got a feeling some of these drivers might just only change their front axle for the tyres when it comes to the pit stop.
Hamilton leads. Alif Hamilton to give him his, Alif to give him his proper name. Hamilton to give him his chosen name. Tarunya in second. 0.5 of a second behind. Nakib is third. Nasi still there fourth. Not much overtaking at the moment.
Yeah. These 3 drivers have pulled away from Nasi. I think they've broken the toe. Nasi won't like that. It'll be hard for him to get back up there, because especially with the pace of 3 have at the moment. Alif with a 56.8, that's a really, really fast lap for lap 2. These cars are filled with fuel still. They should be a bit slower. So to do a lap time only 0.3 off pole position is very rapid indeed.
The gap from P3 Nakib onto Nasi is over 1.5 seconds. Sizwoyo and Tubagas a little bit further down. Let's go on board Tubagas Farhan. He's under pressure from Kalen Chin, who's just behind him. In front of him, you've got Sizwoyo from Indonesia. And Tubagas is always entertaining. He's not the cleanest and smoothest of drivers, but he's very aggressive and goes for the moves when he possibly can.
Quite a lot of Indonesians. What's that? 3 Indonesians in the top 6, so very well represented at the moment. Tubagas looks like he's got a pretty good exit. Is he close enough to Suzuyo at the moment? Possibly not, as they come down to turn 10.
He has a look on the inside. If there is half a chance, he will do. Kalen Chin waiting just behind. Tubagas tries to take the inside, takes Sizwoyo out. Is he able to hold on? Yes, he's got there on the inside. Terrific overtaking from Tubagas Nafwal. He's into P5, and Sizwoyo now under pressure from the man behind him, Kalen Chin, who loses out to Andika Rama.
That was really opportunistic by Rama. Suzuyo started it up by outbraking himself at turn 10, and look at that, he managed to only lose 1 position, but it's all happening behind him now.
Meanwhile, Kalen Chin lost the place to some real dramatic overtaking from Andika Rama. He was just like a coiled cobra waiting to strike, and that's exactly what he did. Andika Rama now up into P7, having picked up some big points in race number 1 earlier on today.
Yeah, so now got 4 Indonesians in the top 7. Very well represented indeed. Let's see if Andika can make a move on Suzuyo, his countryman just in front of him.
A little bit further down, Kalen Chin is under pressure also from Tadashi and Brady. Now somebody going down is Nasi. Nasi is dropping down the rankings quite dramatically. Wonder what's happened there. Kalen Chin at the moment is in P7. Andika 6. The black car is Sizwoyo. Sizwoyo and Tubagas in a big battle. Sizwoyo in the black, Andika Rama, followed by Kalen Chin, and behind them Tadashi. And Nasi is dropping down in P19 at the moment. He was P5.
Wow, what happened there? We missed that, didn't we? Miko Nasi just disappeared. He must have gone off track.
Arjun Maini struggling a long way down in P20. Arjun we focused on a little while ago. He must have gone off track as well. It is a deceptive track, as Nakib has a look around the inside. It looks a lot wider than it actually is because of the concrete and the tarmac runoffs all over this circuit, made in for safety when the track was designed.
Yeah. Well, so as we watch Nakib try and go past Taruna, I have to let you know that Andika has made it past Soyo as well. There he is, the Indonesian. So now can he close down the gap to Tobagos, just in front of him?
Andika is lapping 1:57.174, which is quicker than quicker than Tobagos, as Nakib has a look around the outside of Tarunya.
So this is interesting, Des, because these two fighting is going to let Alif Hamilton get away out front.
Alif's lead at the moment is...
Whoa, pit stops.
Now then, where is Alif? Has he gone in? He's gone in for the pit already. Taruna's gone in.
So second and third position, following up, going nose to tail into the pit lane. The leader, Alif, is staying out for an extra lap. Will this be pivotal?
So Andika, Sizwoyo, they are in. No, Andika stayed out as well. Sizwoyo stayed out. They are 4.5 seconds down on Alif Hamilton. It's got to be a quick change for Nakib. Big gamble from Nakib. It's like an eternity when you're in the pit lane, isn't it?
Let's stay with these guys because I want to see who comes out of the pit first. I know it's a bit boring watching cars not moving, but this is pivotal for the championship. Can Nakib get in front of the Indonesian who's just in front of him, Taruna?
Alistair Younger stayed
start.
out.
No.
Oh, who's come out first? Oh, Taruna just ahead of Nakib. Oh, but a drive-through penalty for Tarunya. And a Tobagos drive-through penalty. Speeding in the pit lane. Catastrophe for Tarunya.
Oh my God! Is that because you saw him pull over towards the right, and then he spins on the way out? Oh, disaster! We talked about Taruna being a little bit fragile on the races, and I think that's what we've just seen.
And look at the line being taken by Mohamed Nakib. He knows he's got to put in some very, very quick times because Alif Hamilton is the man who is leading the way at the moment. Tyre degradation will not be too bad at this stage. Nakib has got free tarmac ahead of him. Will Alif come in on this next lap? His lead is 5 seconds from Andika, who hasn't gone in. Neither Sizwoyo, who's 7 seconds behind. Now then, Alif comes in this time. This is the big race. Where are we looking at? We are looking at Nakib. 48 seconds adrift. This is going to be close. This is going to be close.
So that I think it was, when we saw Nasi and Maney disappear, I think they came in for the pit stop. So those guys coming in for an earlier pit stop than I thought would happen to try and do the undercut has triggered everyone to come to the pit stops a bit earlier than they expected. I know most people would have preferred to pit around 12, 14 minutes, but they've all pitted around 14, 16 minutes. So this is the man to watch. Nakib had a clean stop. Will he be able to get out in front of Alif, who's in the pit lane as we speak?
We are just around about the halfway mark of the race. Nakib, when he looks around, he will come in towards the straight. Where is Hamilton? Brody Steen is there. Hamilton is still in the pits. Hamilton begins to come out. Alif now, does he come out ahead of Nakib? Alif in the blue. Brody Steen makes a move out. Where is Nakib? Nakib comes out. Is he ahead of Alif Hamilton? No, he is not. But by the tiniest of margins, Hamilton is going to have to work really hard because his tyres are brand new. Cold tyres versus warm tyres. This is going to be a lap to savour.
Yeah, so this does take a bit for the tyres to warm up, about half a lap, almost a lap for the warm up. So Alif has to be a bit gentle as he goes through these corners. But Nakib's tyres are up to temperature. He knows this is the chance again. He's got to get turn 8 and 9 perfect here. If he can just get turn 9 perfect, he'll get a run on him down the back straight. No, Alif has got turn 9 perfect. Look at the exit by the Singaporean. Nakib is not close enough. What an outlap by Alif Hamilton.
Sensational, Alif. He's currently officially in P3 because Nassi and Scott Lee haven't gone in yet. But look at that. Big gamble from Alif Hamilton not to go in at the same time as Nakib. Came out just just in front of the Malaysian and has been able to hold on cold tyres. That's a brilliant drive. Must be his mum mopping his brow.
Yes, we did see that onboard shot, didn't we, of him in the sim. We put it earlier in the show, and yes, his mum mopping his brow as he's racing at the sim at home. But yes, so great outlap. But you know, it's not done and dusted. It's still 10 minutes to go. Nakib's close enough to make a race of this for sure.
Scotty Lee stayed out and is still out. He's just gone onto lap 8. So Scotty Lee is taking a big gamble. Maybe hoping for some kind of a big pilot behind him. Hasn't gone into the pits. Nassi went in very early. This is the battle officially for P3, but neither Nassi nor Lee have gone in. So Nassi has gone in now, is that right? No, Scotty Lee has gone into the pits now. So Nassi is now the race leader.
So further back behind these two guys, Kalen Chin's done a good job. I think he's up to 3rd position on the road, so he's made some positions as well. Oh, Nakib's closed the gap. Really good turn 1 there. So Alif is struggling to break the gap, struggling to get a bit of a gap to the second place Nakib.
But Nakib hasn't, crucially, been able to get by him. These are the two outstanding competitors. They were 1 and 3 in the championship series before this weekend. Josh Perwin had something that wasn't his problem. Scotty Lee, a drive-through penalty, left it very, very late to make his pit stop and gambled on it. Scotty Lee will really suffer from that. So Nassi is the only one who is still out on the circuit. He is very creative with his pit stops, is Miko Nassi.
Yes, he is. He does like to try different things. Yeah, so, but he's, drive-through for him. As they break for turn 10, the leaders here, the PlayStation Blue of Alif Hamilton, followed by the white BMW of Nakib from Malaysia.
Kalen Chin has lost a position, or he's in a battle royale here with Andika and Sizwoyo. Is he able to hold on? This is the battle for officially P4. Andika Rama and Kalen Chin and Sizwoyo 3 abreast as they go round that corner. Kalen Chin just able to hold on at the moment ahead of Andika. But this is a terrific battle. We'll leave the leaders just at the moment. Battle for P4. Chin able to hold on. Andika Rama with the darker roof markings. Kalen Chin this time is forced outwards by Andika Rama, and Sizwoyo tries to go through as well. Brilliant from Andika, who's had a fabulous weekend.
That was a really impressive move, because it's so easy to get it wrong when you go down the inside of someone at turn 14, because you try and carry that speed down the inside. Quite often you carry too much and you understeer into the car on the outside. Andika was able to keep it tight without any contact, and also more importantly, he was able to get the traction out the corner to pull in front of Kalen Chin.
Andika Rama it is, who is in P4. Nassi is still staying out on the track. Somebody ought to tell him. You did tell him he's got to stop, didn't you, Alex? Andika Rama officially in P4, realistically in P3, because Nassi has still got to pit. Caleb Chin behind him. Sizwoyo, don't count out Sizwoyo. Tadashi in 6. Maney's got himself up to 7. Amo has 9. Brady out there as well. Brody Steen 11. Alistair Young currently in P17.
I have a quick question. Do you think Nassi has stopped? Because he did this in Buriram, remember? He didn't change tyres, but at that time we had the rule that was allowed. You didn't have to change tyres. But I'm wondering now if he's trying to do the same thing again, if he has actually stopped or not. I can't see on the time screen.
No, he hasn't stopped. He hasn't stopped. That's why he's got this lead. But it's a problem for him because he's only 4 seconds officially ahead, isn't he?
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But at the moment, let's look at this battle here. Sizwoyo all over the back of Kalen Chin. Oh, down the inside. Not making it.
Kalen Chin, the youngster from Australia. Not quite sure where he's racing from, but currently on P5. Sandwiched by 2 Indonesians, Andika Rama and Sizwoyo, 2 very, very good racers. A wobble from Kalen. Sizwoyo saw the opportunity, but just managed to recover in time, Kalen Chin. That was a moment for him, but he's lost momentum. Sizwoyo tries to go around the outside. Kalen closes the door. Sizwoyo onto the home finish for lap number 10. So Chin That mistake has cost him dearly. The momentum was with Jai Suzuyo, and he is up now into P5. Chin! Aggressively through.
Okay, so we've just had some interesting comments on social media that Mikko Nassi has pitted, but he only changed rear tires. So that was why he was able to, he went to the pits in 4th position, and that is why he's in the lead. So well done for the observers on YouTube or Facebook. We have that's the information I'm getting at the moment.
Well, that's sensational then, but it's a 3-second lead. I suppose we have to try and catch up with him, but this is fascinating at the moment because Suzuyo is in a battle royale with Kalen Chin. We've got over 5.5 minutes still to race, so still plenty to keep us entertained. There is Mikko Nassi, and he is indeed out front.
So I'm surprised about this because I thought more drivers would try and change only one axle. We did mention and clarify to the drivers that you can, as long as you change tires, as long as it's 1 or 2 tires. It doesn't have to be all the 4 tires. And you do save quite a bit of time by only changing one axle. I'm surprised no one else has tried this. Sounds like everyone else has tried to change 4 tires. So if this is what has happened and Nassi has done that, then that's a really good move.
But he is lapping a second a lap slower than Alif Hamilton and Nakib, who are now there. He will see them in his rear view mirror. But with 4.5 minutes to go, well, what seems to be a healthy lead of over 2 seconds, that can dissipate very, very quickly. But what a great gamble it was by Mikko Nassi. He really is the most creative when it comes to the pit stops.
Absolutely. So we got about, what, 3 more laps to go? Second position is only 1.8 seconds behind. So that's enough time to catch the leader. But like we said earlier, it's one thing to catch the guy in front. It's quite another thing to overtake.
Yeah, they've just coming up line to turn 2, 3, 4, and 5. Mikko Nassi is still in the lead, but that gap is now, it was 2.5 seconds, it's now 1.5 seconds. They are inching, no, they're not inching, they're accelerating closer and closer and closer. Nassi, brilliant idea, very creative, a long way back. You may as well have a go, but his Singaporean and Malaysian colleagues have caught up now, and it surely is only a matter of time before Nassi moves back into P3.
They're visibly catching, aren't they? Catching quite quick indeed. Within another lap, they're going to be right on the back. Well, within half a lap, they're going to be on the back of Mikko Nassi and fighting for the win.
Well, Nassi's last lap was 1:59.492. Nakib's last lap, 1:57.272. So it's not just a second lap, it's 2 seconds a lap. Nonetheless, for Nassi, a podium is still a real possibility because Andika Rama is 10 seconds adrift, and Suzuyo a further 2.5 adrift of him. So he may well not get the win, but he certainly could get a podium, Mikko Nassi, Alex Young.
Absolutely. So here we go. Alif will be sizing the Finnish base, Singaporean base Finn, as they go through turn 12 here. He'll be thinking, all right, how do I get past him without losing any time? Because he knows if he trips up on Nassi, then Nakib will be through both of them in like a shot.
And he's very much in the race, so he's not obliged to make way for the drivers behind him, even though they are ostensibly much quicker.
No, not at all. But you can see if he's just changed the rear tires, he was struggling for traction out of the last corner. Alif has a run on him for sure. For sure he's looking down the inside. Look at that. He's got the slipstream. He's going to come out to the outside. I would try and go around the outside, mate. Give it a go. There we go. Outbrake himself. Miss the apex. You have to trust the driver on the inside here. Nassi does it just right. Doesn't hit the driver in front. Other more careless drivers might have slid into Alif as he went around the outside. So you have to have trust that the guy on the inside will be professional.
So there are 2 minutes to go, so there will be another lap after this. That's bad news for Mikko Nassi because Andika Rama has reduced the gap to just about 9 seconds.
Oh, look, they're squabbling for second position now. Oh, this is letting Alif. This is perfect for Alif. Okay, so the extra grip from the 4 new tires from Nakib allows him to easily get past Nassi. But now Nassi has a slipstream. Really try and make the move stick. I mean, he's got to know he doesn't have the pace to stay in front of Nakib, so maybe he might just let this go.
Well, you saw just coming into your shot behind him, Nassi is indeed trying to go around the outside of Nakib. Mohammed Nakib will not appreciate that, but Nassi must now be very wary of Andika Rama behind him. Pushing Nakib very, very wide. Mikko Nassi This will be one more lap after this. Nasi goes very wide and loses a second place that he momentarily took. But is he quick enough to hold on to P3, Alex? That's my big question.
So 2 more laps to go. After this, 1 more lap and these next, so just over a lap to go. And I'm going to say, maybe not. Nandika's 7 seconds behind this battle at the moment, 6 seconds behind this battle. That might be too far.
Where are we? 45 seconds to go as they come. Andika Rama, this is the man currently in P4. Up over the brow of the hill. Alif is on lap 13. Nakib, the distance between Alif and Nakib is 1.68 seconds. Yep, there will be 1 more lap, so Nasi needs to be wary. Although credit to Nasi, he has kept the gap up to just under 7 seconds. Andy Karama's got to make up 7 seconds on Mikko Nasi if he's going to take a podium. But it looks like the top of the podium is going to be taken by Alif Hamilton, barring an error that we've not seen him make.
Yeah, supreme drive by the Singaporean. Really, really good job. Has the pace. Had big pressure from Nakib earlier on, but was able to soak it up and still produce the lap times. You know, in this sort of situation, you just have to focus on the driving, hit your marks, try and keep the lap times within a tenth of each other, and that's exactly what Alif has managed to do.
Alif Hamilton leads. Nakib, I think, is happy with second. We're just seeing how much the gap, if at all, is diminishing between Nasi and Andy Karama. And credit to Nasi, he has kept it over 6 seconds, and we've had half the lap. This is a battle for P9. Arjun Maini trying to take Tadashi. Tadashi in the pink. They have got Amo Hazik in their sights, but here is the race leader. 1.8 seconds clear of Nakib now. He will take the lead in the overall championship at the halfway stage. Alif Hamilton from Singapore just needs to be clean, as he has been throughout. Got his tactics absolutely right. 100 kilometers an hour as he comes into this sharp right-hander. Up to 150 kilometers an hour. Just need to make sure he gets his exit absolutely perfect. Nakib has settled for second place. Andika is closing in, but too late. It'll be Alif Hamilton who takes the victory for Singapore, takes the lead in the overall championship standings. Nakib second. Nasi, brilliant tactics for P3. Andika 4, Sizwoyo 5. Kalen Ching comes in 6. Amo Hazik in 7. Tadashi 8. Daryl Brady for Philippines in 9th in the Porsche, ahead of Brody Steen. Faiz Ryan 11th in the BMW. Tay in 12th.
So, what a race. Didn't have the fireworks we're used to. We've seen a lot of fireworks over our eRacing Grand Prix stuff so far, but still a very good drive. It's a very well judged race. You know, Alif timed his pit stops, even though he went a lap later than everyone else. He was still able to get out in front of Nakib. So really well judged race by the Singaporean.
And his outlap when he came in just ahead of Nakib, that outlap was a brilliant drive because Nakib had a little bit of momentum. He had heat in the tyres. Alif didn't. That was just terrific driving. Alif Hamilton wins it. Nakib second. Nasi's pit stop strategy gives him another big points haul. He really is creative in that, is the Finn. Andika Rama fourth. Sizwoyo fifth. Chin 6th, Amo Hazik 7th, Tadashi 8th, Daryl Brady 9th, and Brody Steen completing the top 10. Alistair Young in P20 ahead of Tarunya. Not really sure what happened to Tarunya today.
A couple DNFs at the back. But yeah, what a race.
Well, that is quite some racing that we've given for you. This is the end of round 3 of 6 rounds that we've got during the lockdown here in Malaysia. We are locked down until April the 28th at least. Hopefully that's when it ends. But fear not, we will bring you racing of this quality every Saturday at 2, 4 and 6:30. Alex, some terrific racing. Alif Hamilton, what a performance from him.
Yes, really great performance. He really dominated the weekend, actually. He got so many points in the end, so he's really pulled out a huge gap in the championship lead. So Alif Hamilton at the top, Nakib in second from Malaysia, and then from Indonesia in third place, Andika Rama. He also had a good race. Didn't expect him to sneak up a third. and of course Mikko Nasi in 4th position. Of course, Perwin is not in the top 3, but you know, he was not able to be in the points for this race after the internet issues. But however, all these drivers have to drop 1 race out of the 6. Points are only added from the top 5 scores that they do, so that will put Perwin into play later on, and I think he's still in the hunt for the championship.
Let's just put into context what this championship is all about. There's a fabulous prize, which we kind of forget about. From virtual to reality is the tagline that Race Room and Axel Racing use, but that really is the prize for this.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the if not the best race teams in Asia, Black Arts Racing, the Asian Formula 3 champion, Formula Renault champion from 2019, and all the way back to I think like 2012, is offering a free drive to the champion, and also for the best young driver aged between 16 and 20. So there are 2 tests on offer for the winners in this championship.
Okay, so terrific prize. So Alif Hamilton, you may be top now. Nakib, you may be chasing, but there's still tons more racing to go. As I say, we'll be back on your screens for your streaming next week at 2 o'clock, but there is qualification to take place before then. We're on round 3 of 6 of eRacing Grand Prix Southeast Asia Global Edition. Catch up for the news and the headlines and the full race results and analysis during the week on social media. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and of course we're on Twitch as well, and catch us on screen as well on wherever we're being broadcast. From Des Corkill, from Alex Young, who's the initiator of this whole campaign, and from the team behind the scenes at their remote locations, it's been our pleasure to bring you eRacing Grand Prix.